Previously on the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
The other guy comes in and says it's not going to be 2 weeks. Next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Okay, Nick the Gun Guy, I'm not mad at you, and I hope
We
you're
beat
not,
you up if it don't
and
come
I'm not
by
mad.
Thursday.
I hope you're not mad at me. It's been a long, whatever. Let me know how much I owe you.
Why does Nick the Gun Guy doing glass?
I don't know.
You're listening
to the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Broadcast rights for the Bubba the Love Sponge show have been granted to this station by the Bubba Radio Network and is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this production without the express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
Monday, June 8th, 2026. Me, Dr. Dan Diaco, Lummy, Macho Man, Jay, probably remotely, about 8:30 or so. Then we'll have a double-decker Diaco for 30 or so minutes, and Dan will go make his millions of dollars making chicks look better with boobs and lips and tummy tucks and Botox and collagen injections and filler and Morpheus machine, and let's not forget that. And I don't know that we've really. I'm not trying to say anything bad about Dan's business, but I don't know that I definitely have not talked about the fact that he's got. He now is one of the leading people in men's, and women's. Women? Do you have any women hair replacement?
Definitely.
People?
Yes.
Oh, I know
women suffer more than people realize.
Yeah, I actually have a friend whose wife is kind of going through some hair issues, and I'll suggest you. But would you say probably 80% of that, 70% men's?
Oh yeah, 80.
80, yeah. So anyway, for you guys out there that's getting that male pattern baldness in the middle, like me, or your power alleys are starting to go, be a little bit more prominent. Dan, again, Diaco Institute of Plastic Surgery, and. What's your domain? Is it DiacoPlasticSurgery.com?
DrDiaco.com.
Oh, much easier. Just DrDiaco.com.
Can I ask what besides losing your hair, because I don't have that problem, unfortunately.
Yeah,
fortunately,
hold on.
I should say fortunately, but it's turning gray.
Hold on. You don't have that problem yet. You're still a young guy.
Well, I know
friend.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm pretty hairy, but what's why does your hair go gray?
Because it loses it loses its melatonin or something like that.
Yeah, melanin, and it just becomes gray.
Can
I
I do anything?
Yeah,
diet.
Control GX.
Yeah, use men just for men's.
Control GX. That's
it's like, what is it, Dan? Like $17 for 2 bottles or something like that.
Yeah, and you wash your hair with it like once or twice a week. It takes
it kind of gives
out.
you. Yeah,
it looks natural. It doesn't look like you painted your hair black.
But I will tell you this, Lummy, okay? Because I use it. Dan uses it. And so you cannot, and I learned this from Dan, because when I wash my hair, I use my fingernails to get down in it and get my scalp nice and clean. Not if you use just for men, is it RX or MX or what is
Control GX.
If you use just for men, Control GX, Lummy, you have to scrub your hair with your fingertips. I mean, you can't use your nails.
Oh,
yeah, you can't use your fingertips
because it'll look like you're a mechanic. The dye gets underneath your nails, and Dan's the one that told me about it. I started using it. I'm like, Dan, I have black fingertips, and he goes, you either have to put some rubber gloves on or just kind of go like this. With no nails.
I gotcha.
Because it will.
And then rinse your hands as soon as you get done putting it in your hair.
Yeah, and you got to leave it in for 2 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And rinse.
Maybe 5.
Yeah, I leave it in. I try to leave it a little bit longer. But Lummy, here's the other deal: is you got to rinse your shower down too.
Okay.
You know,
black stains.
Yeah, so you got to rinse your shower down, and then I get some of that. Have you ever seen that CLR?
Yes.
The calcium
lime.
I'll kind of spray down. Yeah, I'll spray down my shower with some CLR. Let it sit. So while I'm drying off and brushing my teeth and doing my little routine, putting my underwears on, I then let the CLR kind of sit in the shower for about 5 minutes while I'm doing my sink. My stuff at the sink, teeth, brushing, a little bit of flossing, maybe shave, then go over and then rinse your shower off. Do you have like a detachable head from your shower?
Yes.
Yeah, take that and then rinse your shower down, because if not, it'll stain your shower black.
Okay, yeah, because I think I'd get killed. We have white tiles.
Yeah,
so.
there you go. You gotta. But it works, man.
Oh,
It doesn't overly dye it. Like, remember when I used to get my Elvis-like dye hair job, and you could it looked good for about 2 weeks, and then it started growing out, and you could see like the gray coming through, and then you could see like where the woman missed it and got a little bit on my skin, and I have a black birthmark on my skin, and as flip-floppy and as thick and luscious as your hair is, dyeing it would just be like, me and Dan don't have near Dan's got the second thickness, probably number 1 in penis, but number 2 in hair on the show. And you got this big,
he's got great hair.
Yeah, going to a hairstylist and getting it dyed would be a nightmare when you can just shampoo with what Dan told you.
I'm on it.
Oh,
like once every week. You know what I mean? You don't have to do it much.
Maybe twice, but you're right, Dan. Just once, twice, that's it. Do it on Sunday nights, or have a ritual where you do it the same day every day.
Yeah.
May I make a suggestion? Do it in the morning and not at night, so you don't get it on your pillow.
All right.
True.
Good, yeah.
And oftentimes I'll wash my hair afterwards with regular shampoo to make sure it's all out, because it will linger if you don't rinse it out.
Yeah, it will. It will.
It's made to stay in there.
So it's just for men. Control RX.
Start sweating like Giuliani with the black stuff rolling.
Yeah, remember that? So
that was dye though. That wasn't this stuff.
So man, I gotta tell you, and the woman that owns this business, her name is Rose. And it's my understanding, Lemmy, that she reached out to the show because they're big fans of the show.
Yes.
And she owns this place called Spot Clean. Now, when Merch Crick and I moved out here to the log cabin, we've been having this cleaning service that comes twice a month, like every other week. And they do a pretty good job. They're
like a maid service?
Yes.
Okay.
Just a dust, because the wood cabin has those high beams, so they actually take a ladder and dust the beams. And
Merch Crick's not reaching that.
No, she's not. And I don't want her on a ladder,
Right.
And so, and then they dust, they dust my guitars, and they deep clean the floor, and they do everything. They really do a great job.
Oh, good.
But I've been looking for, and I'm going to replace them with Spot Clean, with Rose and her crew, but the studios, the Nassau Street Studios, where we were for 15 years. Now we've pretty much, after Dan gets his amps today and a few other little things that Lummy's going to pick up over there, I mean, we're pretty much done. We're pretty much done. We got probably a couple little, just little stuff that we have to move. Now the weights are all there because I'm going to go there in the next couple days, take pictures, because I'm going to start selling. There's only about, if you got a cable crossover machine, listen, I don't need all that equipment. I'm not lifting weights to the level that I used to. I'm just trying to maintain and not stay so flabby. So a cable crossover machine, a Smith machine, I have that Delt machine that I like. And
you're not getting rid of your dumbbells, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I'm
Just
getting
going to replace it all with just a shake weight.
Yeah, exactly.
How much?
But here's the deal. I mean, I got 5 through 100.
Listen, your dumbbells is very impressive.
I think they're worth about $2,000.
Oh wow!
And then that straight bar set that goes 10 to 105.
In the pyramid, yeah.
I don't.
Do you have a straight bar like curl bars, like they just stack up?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the pyramid, it's like a pyramid.
I got and it's all
they're really nice.
And it's all Nautilus Nitro stuff. When money was no object, and so I just got a lot of stuff. I don't need.
What are you keeping?
I don't know. I know I'm keeping my Smith machine. I know I'm keeping my cable crossover. I know I'm keeping my good girl, bad girl. Probably my quad and my hamstring and one of the 2 chest decks. I'm probably going to keep 6 to 8, but I'm going to list the rest of them, Lummy. But really, the only thing that's left in that building is the gym.
Yeah.
And until I've got an official move-out date, which very well may be December 31st, if I continue to pay, if they can make, they might let me out early. They might Business-wise, they don't have to.
That's the official end of your lease is
December 31st,
okay.
yeah. So I'm financially obligated. I just processed a check for this month's rent. But I'm gonna. And by the way, I think Merch Crick sold the 2 safes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So because I don't need those. One safe was just all of our backup Sirius XM shows, which we can just box up. We don't need to have them in a $5,000 fireproof safe. So we have that, and then my gun safe I don't need anymore because it's just I really don't want to move safes, to be honest with you.
They're heavy.
So I got almost everything out there, and this Rose woman listens to the show, and they specifically. One of their many services that by the way, you can go to spotcleaningservice.com. Spotcleaningservice.com, and they can give you an estimate and everything. Their official cleaning service of our show now. But they also do, they specifically do commercial cleanouts. And that's what I needed as a commercial cleanout. So they went there, I think, on Friday, cleaned, and then went on Saturday and cleaned, and they got it all. I mean, Dan, I got to show you pictures. You would not believe how unbelievably clean they got this place. Everything from the refrigerator to the contents of the refrigerator to the kitchen to Macho's area. I never thought that the pantry area would ever be just 100% beautiful, cleaned out, not rat poop, or they cleaned all the rat poop. They do
you want to move back in now?
I look at it now and be like, man, it'd be nice to start over again, but no, it's just too big. We really don't need that big of an area. We don't need a stage anymore. We don't need a shower anymore. We don't need a riser with a couch for guests anymore. We don't need any of that. We need to scale down. So they came and cleaned, and oh my God, I'm going to do a commercial for them. We're going to start promoting them. Go to spotcleaningservice.com. I think the woman that owns the thing is named Rose. They listen to the show, but once you go on there, you go to you click on book services, and then it gives you
you can get an instant quote too.
Yeah,
on their
standard,
site, yeah.
clean, deep clean, move in, move out. Inside the fridge, inside the oven, inside cabinets, wet wipe window blinds, pets, green cleaning, dishes, interior women. Oh, interior women. Yeah, they got interior women. Interior windows. They got it all. So you can schedule it online. You can get an estimate. But I cannot think that they took so much of my anxiety that I currently have, because getting it moved out is one thing, and then cleaning it's another. So I got it all clean now. Dan, I'll show you some pictures. You know what that place looked like. I mean, 15 years. I lived there 5. We broadcasted for 15. And, after 15 years, you accumulate stuff,
Oh, and corners accumulate stuff.
Yeah. So, Rose, I can't thank you enough. I Zelled them a huge tip.
Nice.
And I'm going to maybe pay them some more, but it's just unbelievable, and we should be out of there. I'm trying to be completely out of there, not with one little electronic wire connector, one little bolt, nothing by the 15th of this month. But I don't think I'm going to have all my equipment sold by then, but I think I can have all of the radio portion, with the exception of the gym and potentially the safes, by the 15th. That's my goal. I know you're going today.
Yes.
To meet Dan's family to move the amps. I think that's the kind of the last big thing that we potentially own needs to get out of there. So Dan, you're getting your amps today, I think.
I'm excited.
Lummy, this is from
Thank you.
Milwaukee, playing the Colorado Rockies, and I don't know where the gamesman or sportsmanship of pitching, where it turned, but I've always, for years, on the air and outwardly said, when a pitcher, like I said, when they hit a guy, sometimes it's intentional and it's part of the game, where they may have plucked your guy the inning before, and your manager gives you the plucking sign, and usually it's their high-profile guy, and you mean to hit him. And within the league, they usually try to take care of the guy by trying to hit him in the hip or the leg, or something like that.
Yeah, the back of the bat. Yeah.
It's kind of like that. and you can tell when it's a part of the the game or the gamesmanship where you hit our guy or gave our number one guy some chin music, so we're going to give you some. Oh, it got away from us and we hit him in the leg. And that's just kind of part of the game. It's been around since the 1800s when the game of baseball was invented. Did you know where the first game of baseball ever was played? Well, the first game of American baseball where they recognized that it's a game of baseball. Do you know the city?
Warsaw, Indiana.
Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Oh, look at that.
Wow. And look me up and fact
What year was
check
that?
me. Oh God, it was like 1885, something like that. Look it up. First game of American baseball, and I think I'm right. I think I'm right on this one.
Yep, Fort Wayne, May 4th, 1871, between Fort Wayne, I don't know, Cleveland, four cities, the baseball grounds.
1871.
Yep.
Wow, Fort Wayne, Indiana. So anyway,
150 plus years.
yeah. So anyway,
It's amazing.
I've always said, there's a certain amount of these pitches that the pitchers pitch, and the ball just gets genuinely away from them, and they really didn't mean to hit the guy. But over all the years that's been happening, it's like the ongoing gimmick was the pitcher didn't put it over. He just kind of stood there, and even no matter how bad you hurt the guy or nobody, the guy just didn't really acknowledge the fact that one got away from him. And I know, God, I can remember back in the 98 Rock days when we would see pitchers, hitting guys, and I'd be like, what's so hard about tipping your cap to the guy or kind of walking halfway between the pitcher's mound and the home plate and kind of saying, hey bud, that one got away from me, or what would be the
A friendly nod.
yeah,
Just something.
yeah, just something to be like, hey,
Acknowledgement.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. It didn't have to be very long or over the top, but it looks like now maybe as we are getting a little more soft and woke. See, there's instances of where you get woke and soft, and it's a good thing, but about 90 to 95% of the softness and the wokeness of how our society is becoming more woke and soft is bad. There is no more tough parenting anymore. You can't really whack your kid on the ass. You really can't, all that's gone. They'll call child protective services on you, and whatever. And now your kid's got a cell phone right there, so as soon as you spank him, he's already on the phone with the sheriff. Sheriff's coming out and will arrest you. So this incident right here was a pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers.
He's a stud. This guy is he actually holds the record now of fastest pitch.
Oh, he's a 100-plus guy, isn't
He's
he?
100. He hit 103.7.
Yeah, I don't know how many times in one game. It was.
He had last month. He did it 10 times in the first inning.
Yeah, so this guy,
103.
and he's not that big of a dude.
No,
He's kind of a little guy.
he's a little wiry.
So this pitch genuinely gets away from him, and he hits the guy in the head. It's bad, and oh my God, the catcher immediately starts aiding assistance and are you okay and what have you. And then the pitcher, although the pitcher still doesn't go up and talk to the dude, but he visually is upset. He walks around the mound like he's really, really bummed out. And I really, really like this. I really like how I like this. I think this is good.
Oh my goodness gracious. Freeman gets hit in the head with a cutter.
And I love the fact that the catcher knows, as you all know, the catcher's the captain of the team. And when you're on the field, the catcher does line shifts, he does outfield shifts, and at the end of the day, he suggests what the pitcher should throw. The pitcher can wave him off, but the catcher kind of has a better idea of what the guy that's hitting's characteristics are. So the catcher's kind of runs the show a little bit.
And the catcher knows what pitch is supposed to be coming.
Yes. So that's what I was trying to say, Dan. And the fact that the catcher knew he didn't call for a beanball. The catcher probably called for maybe a fast one a little bit high and inside. So when the catcher starts rendering assistance, it's because he knows that was not intended to hit the guy.
As Freeman gets hit in the head with a cutter. Ooh.
I really like that. And then the pitcher This dude, he's visually upset. Like Nolan Ryan and Randy Johnson and Roger Clemens and David Wells and David Cohn and all these Louis Tiant and all these, all these Oral Hershiser, all these famous pitchers, they would just stand there and look at you. And you didn't know whether they meant it. And most of the time it got away from them, but they still wouldn't visually put it over at all. The old school baseball. Now it looks like you're allowed to show some emotions and be sorry for what you did.
And Miz clearly distraught.
Oh man, let me just distraught. But you know what though? Thank God it hit that ear protection / lower helmet part. I don't think it hit his skin, right?
No, it
hit the helmet.
Yeah,
but those things aren't really. They're not padded like an NFL helmet or nothing.
No,
right in the ear flap. Caught her at 98 miles an hour, and it hit him right in the
100 mile an hour
helmet.
And the pitcher, man, he's like, without walking up and saying, I'm sorry, he's saying he's sorry. Right? Like,
you can tell
he's like,
That can rattle you. And Freeman, I think, is going to come out of this game.
Now, Dan, are they just doing that right there for precautionary reasons? Like, maybe because you may have a concussion or, obviously he looked like he said he was okay a few different times. They probably asked him his name, his mom's name, date of birth. Is that what, Dan, you've treated many concussions. What's the protocol when you're on the field and do you ask him questions?
You ask him questions, and you look at his response, not just his verbal response, but how he looks in the eye, if he can focus on you. You can tell when someone's still got the Tweety birds flying around.
I sent you the video of the guy from last month throwing 10 straight pitches over 102, mainly 103. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting hitting 103 nowadays.
All right, hold on here. Let me. Oh, man. I think okay, here we go. All I have from you is spot cleaning service. I don't have anything new from you. On your eye, yeah. Oh, there it is. All right. I guess it was taking its sweet time.
Yeah, of course it was.
So this is the picture, right?
Yeah.
This is the Miz.
The same guy that.
This is the Miz from the Brewers.
Yep.
And this is a record. This is I think a major league record where you threw 10 pitches in a row over 100, right?
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
That's what we're looking at here.
I mean, he averaged 103.1.
Here we go.
And brings one of the most electric fastballs.
All right, so that is
in the big leagues.
That's 102.
First ball at 102. Grisham.
That's 103.
Jesus.
In the games against.
That's 103.
Some high-level talent for 100 miles an hour.
That's 103.
Then Rice is back. Hand injury.
That's 103.
Max Fried. And
that's 103.
He's trying to catch up to it.
Aaron Judge.
103.
Look at just how he puts it exactly where he wants to go. Inside corner.
Oh my God, this guy. Where'd they find this guy from?
I think he came out of college. I want to say Ben.
CO1. Judge to Aaron Judge. And the two-strike pitch lined into right field.
104.
104 on that deal.
Jesus.
And a great start, the Miz.
I mean, even Chapman. Here we go. His 10 pitches: 102.4, 103, 102.8, 102.7. 103.2, 103.3, 103.3, 103.5, 103.1, and his 10th pitch, man, he's not getting a rubber arm. Fastest one of the whole night, 103.6.
He went to LSU.
How good was he in college?
Oh, he was. Yeah, he was.
Was he the number one overall guy taken?
No, not number one, but he was in the top 10. And
is he better than Skeens?
No, because he's not proven, but he's right up there. He throws it harder than Skeens.
Have you ever heard of a curveball or a changeup, or you just throw fastballs?
No. He throws. I mean,
he's
the
got
guy
a cutter.
The guy to cutter. He got a changeup. I mean, he's
man.
good.
If he could get his changeup to like 85, I mean, you'd spin yourself in the ground thinking you had a 103 coming, and then he knocks it because the changeup is the exact same motion. At least what I know about baseball is one of the reasons why the changeup screws people up so bad is because it's the exact same body movement of a fastball, so you think the fast is coming.
Oh yeah, you're set up for a fastball. You're watching the arm motion, and then it just drops out.
Or you're set up for that changeup, and you just go out like it just. What is it? A good changeup guy can be 15 to 20 mile an hour slower than his fast.
Yeah, that's what it should be. If you're throwing let's say 90, your changeup should be like 75 to 78.
Yeah. So I saw this last week, and I really need to get a hold of her personally. I have her email. I have Robin Quivers' email from when we worked together at obviously SiriusXM under Howard's umbrella. And I think that she started when I first left is when she got her cancer. And it was really, really horrible. And she went through radiation and chemotherapy and,
What kind of cancer was it?
I don't know what kind of cancer she had.
I don't know if they ever said it.
Yeah, I don't. I'm thinking might have been maybe I don't know. I don't want to speculate. But it was very a very
Stage 3C endometrial cancer?
Endometrial cancer?
Yeah.
She had like
stage 3 of endometrial cancer.
Yeah, from her uterus.
She had a grapefruit-sized mass on her pelvic area.
So it was. I know that it was really touch and go, and it just shocked everybody that worked with her. And she went through the treatments. And I think last week on Howard's show, she had an announcement that it's been an anniversary of her being cancer free. And I was just, it really tickled my heart. I need to reach out to her and tell her congratulations. She looks great. The video I'm getting ready to play is from last week, and she looks great. I think she's approaching. I think she's in her upper 60s.
Oh, wow.
And she looks fantastic.
She looks 40.
She looks great. Robin, congratulations. You're always so good to me.
73.
Oh my Lord. Dan, look at her. 73.
Amazing.
She was always so great to me. Howard was too. But she was just so kind.
Robin, it gives me a chill to even say it, but this is honestly the best news ever. Go ahead.
I'm cancer-free.
What do you think of that? 14 years ago when Robin was diagnosed.
Yeah, it was 14 years ago.
2012, wow.
Yeah, just right after I'd left. I left in 12.
She took charge of her health. She started to do all the right things. She never deviated. And I'm telling you, Robin, on behalf of this show and, of course, to me, you're the most important, and I love you, and I am so happy for you. And
Howard looks getting emotional there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know what you must be feeling inside.
I feel like a brand new person.
When you read the piece of paper that said cancer-free, you probably were like checking.
Now, am I assuming that it seems like this might be the first time that she's been given the all clear?
Yes.
It seems like that's what they're kind of posturing.
Yeah, earlier, I guess 6-7 years ago, I want to say, she was
still fighting it?
She was fighting it, but they said, it was clear and then it came back.
It 9 times to make sure you were reading it right.
I was like a person who's won the lottery and can't believe their eyes when they're seeing all the numbers. Is this what I think it says?
Unbelievable miracle. God bless you. Congratulations.
Yeah, I can't. And I feel the same.
It's funny, her Wikipedia has you in it.
Her Wikipedia has me in it?
Yeah, when she challenged you to the race. Yep.
Yeah, and then they I think management, because racing is dangerous. And we were going to race a race, her and I. I forget. I think it was like maybe going to be a road course.
Toyota Pro Celebrity Race.
Yeah.
On a road course, yeah.
And
yeah, but those are pretty controlled and safe.
They are, but Robin is. Hold on, Robin is the second most important part of their multi-billion-dollar franchise that is put. Let's not forget Howard's significance. When they first hired Howard, if I can remember right, I think Sirius had like 600,000 subscribers. Now they're approaching, I think, 40 million. But they invested, nearly $1 billion into him bringing, his massive audience and his brand and his style of controversial men skewing radio over to an uncensored platform. Circa, it started in January of 06. We were there right with them. We were afternoon drive. And, she was, arguably the second most important person on their billion-dollar franchise. So I can see where they wouldn't necessarily want her out boss hogging in a celebrity, Grand Prix with me, who's going to be, at the end of the day, if she got ahead of me, I'd put a bumper on her.
Oh, boy.
Just because we're racing.
Yeah.
But I can see where they shut it down. And they did. They shut it right on down. But more importantly, that's not what's important. It's important that she looks like she's unbelievably healthy. She's cancer-free. And I'm as excited as Howard is. Congratulations, Rob. I'm going to reach out to you this week. I hope I have your right email. If I don't, I do have Howard's. Maybe I can reach out to Howard and ask him for your email. I don't want your cell phone. I don't want to be bugging you. I'd like to congratulate you, tell you that I'm thinking about you via email if I can.
We deviated from the norm, and look what came of it.
You have some issues, kid.
Bubba the Love Sponge.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show returns after these words.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. How was yours? I was worried about you. Like, did he change his phones? Did he fall in the ocean? Did Ashley finally kill him?
Yeah, I got it.
Did you get your old phone number back?
Yeah, everything's good now.
What, you got scammed or something?
No. Phone just took it back.
Oh, you just had to get a new phone?
It fell, cracked, and then went in the pool. And when it cracked in the pool, the waterproof part goes away.
The cracking doesn't help the water.
When it goes and gets the ground, even though I had a case. Now I have a
Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. Appreciate y'all.
I'm getting like a minimalistic case today. Like, it's just like a couple pieces of like edging.
See, that's what my last one.
Let's see, I'm gonna live dangerous.
Because the back is glass too.
No, these new ones. I think the black ones.
No, the back's glass.
No, the new ones.
Are you sure?
17, it's not glass anymore.
Did they change it?
Yeah, because the glass was bullshit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they did.
Glass just made it fragile. There's
Oh
no
yeah, they
reason
should. They
for
made
it.
the whole phone fragile. For no reason. I just never understood that. I mean, I'd rather have the Nextel, the bricks. You can literally throw your phone against the wall and it wouldn't break.
I mean, the iPhone was beautiful when it first came out. It was a piece of art. Now less so because they just all look the same. But
yeah, but they made it.
It still is a shame that you can't, walk around without the case because it's.
Well, it's a racket. It's a racket because they know, they get you on the insurance.
Touches anything, it shatters. It's stupid.
Yeah, and to get it fixed, you got to pay like $1,200.
You know what iPhone's next best big thing could be, and everybody would buy it? A shatterproof front. You know they have the technology to do it.
Yeah.
If they had a shatterproof, within a certain amount of trauma, more so than it can take now. Like a standard drop would not break it.
It's almost like they want you to break them.
Oh, they do.
If you don't break it in the first 2 years, the battery's going to take a shit. What's up, Snook Slayer, Dirt Merchant, Kenny Gene, Greg from New York, Mike from Massachusetts, 305, HS Bubba, Big Buck, Mary Kane Jeff, Bob Cook, Bad Jake, Ziggy, Austin, Johnny K. Steel Slinger, Oshak, Berto Perez, Bart Hutchison, Demorna, Rick James, Group of Lips, Dick the Gun Guy, Iggy, Creatine, Big Red.
Iggy! Creatine, I need my remote.
G. Baltichin. Barbecue Pit, Master, Stacy G. Over here. Yinzer, good morning. Chub it up. J Fish, Jonesy, Bolster with the olive oil. Greco, Pippi Short Stroker. Buster. Dank, Kona Cuts. Summer Radio, Penny Jacks, That's Rusty Taint, Rev Jeffrey. Good morning. TMA. Postmark.
Yeah, again, I actually yesterday was talking to some friends. Well, his dad too. They're both Americans. Badass, by the way.
Oh, shouldn't hurt more than 3 or 4 days, TMA. Say again? Patty pancakes.
I said Booker's friends' parents.
Whether you're a contractor or do-it-yourselfer, Sunbelt Rentals is committed to making it easy to get the tools and equipment you need. With a vast network of locations across the U.S. and Canada, no one brings more yes to your project. Our broad inventory and dedicated team of experts makes equipment rental absolutely available, positively reliable, and unquestionably easy. Visit sunbeltrentals.com to reserve your equipment or find a location near you.
Warning, warning. The following program contains objectionable content, which may cause oral discomfort. This is the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
I'm going to kill Gene Lasker.
Whoa, no, what happened?
By the way, the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, June 8th, 2026, New York. Greg came in with a $20 bill right before we left. Love you, New York, Greg. Oh, my God. Him and Bob Cook.
Let's start the week off right.
And Teese have helped the merch crick. And, by the way, a Mexican name, I think there was a Cuban and a Guatemalan that New York Greg found at the Home Depot on near the stadium one day. And those two dudes, oh, my God. Pay them a little bit, like, you know, I think they're like 20 an hour cash.
Yeah, that's what the going rate now is for Mexicans.
20 an hour cash, like $1.60.
Really? They go for 20 an hour?
Yeah.
It's $1.60 cash, Dan, and you feed them lunch.
What about Haitians? They go a little cheaper?
No, it's pretty much they all got good luck. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
There's not as many as there used to be.
Really? Because they like to undercut too. They come in at like 16.
No, there's just not as many people, even whether it's Haitians, Cubans, Mexicans, Guatemalans, Panamanians, Jamaicans. Like there's just not. You used to go to the Home Depot before this big ice gimmick, and there'd be 15 of them. Now there's
15, like 50 of them.
Yeah, 50 of them.
Yeah.
Now there's like 6, and one of them has a driver's license, so he's the one that hauls them all around. So New York Greg went down there and found a couple great ones, and that took this whole project to the next level. So thank you so very much, New York Greg, and everything that him and Coke Can Cook, and Teese and the Mexicans and the Guatemalans and everybody was a group effort. So thank you so much, New York Greg. So I get this footage, victims of trans genocide. And I'm assuming this is maybe potentially New York City. And I'm assuming that this is part of Gay Pride Month. And, you know, because I think trans is one of the letters in the acronym LGBTQ + AI S49624841219er. I mean, it's gotten so large now.
Yeah,
but
the T part stands for trans. Yes.
So, yes.
And I'm assuming that if we're talking about victims of trans genocide, I'm assuming we're talking about people that were murdered,
right,
because they were trans.
So here's the thing,
right?
Well,
that's the assumption.
You're dancing with me here, and you're getting to where I'm going. Yes, absolutely. You got it. In the fact that what I'm going to question here by saying, so these people here that are celebrating or memorializing these people here and everybody that has potentially died. As they're saying, the victims of trans genocide are all people that were transitioning and have died. We'll just leave it at that. Very open-ended. But if you're going to use the word genocide, then it's my understanding, Dan, and you are very much a more educated person than me, having gone to, I don't know how many years of official schooling if you throw in your legal.
17 and a half after high school.
17 and a half after high school.
Yeah.
Jeez, half of your adult life nearly. I mean, I'm not half, but I'm just saying.
A big chunk.
So most of us went to 12th. Maybe we did 4 years of undergrad, but that's about the majority of everybody. I did 1 year undergrad, flunked out, so I got officially 13 years of total schooling. If you add your 12, what's 12 plus 20, 30, not 40 years?
It's 30. It's 12 and 17.
Yeah, so
it's 29.
So let's call it 30.
Okay.
I got 13, you got 30.
Mm-hmm.
So Dan, you being highly more educated, it's my understanding that genocide means you were murdered.
Yeah, it's targeting and killing a subgroup.
So how can you honor these people, which I don't want anybody to die, when they weren't killed by society or anything other than probably themselves? And the article says, I checked up these names, nearly all of them died by suicide, natural causes, or their romantic partner.
So I looked up how many have been murdered since, the whole time, but since 2020, there's been 17 that have been murdered because they were transgender.
17?
Yes.
And then how many
white guys were murdered because they were white by a black guy that was just pissed off at the world?
I can't find that stat currently.
Those stats don't exist. But,
okay.
Yeah, they don't. You're not even supposed to really, to be honest with you.
You can't say that out loud?
Yeah, you're not even really.
Like that Ukrainian chick on the train.
You're not even supposed to ask that question, Dan. You of higher education should know that. So here's the deal, Lummy. So 17 have died, in what you would consider maybe a little bit of a genocide situation. How many have died of killing themselves, natural causes, or their romantic lover?
Let me find out.
So
this is some type of, to me it looks like New York City, but it could be France, it could be England.
See, Bubba, here, while we're on the conversation of death and suicide of the trans individual, it is been proven that.
By the way, hold on. Let me just interrupt you. This is a doctor speaking. This is a man that is a doctor. So let me just say that your opinion or what the information you're ready to give us comes from not Johnny Dropout like me, but a guy like you that's a doctor. So go ahead, please. Thank you.
That the suicide rate amongst transgender people is way higher than the normal population. And the gimmick is, here's the gimmick. Especially during the peak of this a few years ago, the doctors would shame the parents and tell them, if you don't let this kid transition, that child is going to kill themselves. And that's how they would get the parents to come along. Because they would show the statistics about trans suicide and imply that this child is now at risk of killing itself. And if you don't help with the transition, that's what's going to happen. But transitioning doesn't help the trans suicide rate. It's still high, whether or not they initiate, or complete their transition. It's still through the roof.
Do you have any stats for me?
It looks like it's 49. I'm trying to, because there are a couple different things.
So this group of people, please join us in a moment of silence as we remember trans and gender expansive community members who are no longer with us. And listen, I have no problem with this. These people should be remembered. especially by this particular group of people. This is very close to their heart, as we don't want anybody to have died. I'm not saying that I'm callous to those that take their lives because emotionally they want to, transition to a different sex, and for whatever reason they can't, or they're not allowed to, or it doesn't go the way they thought, or just, society doesn't accept them for whatever reason these people would happen to take their lives. I am very sorrowful for that.
Don't forget 988. You're never alone.
That's right. And if you are experiencing suicide thoughts, or you just don't feel good about yourself, or you need a friend to talk to, or you need somebody to help you out, 988. Instead of 911, you call 988, and that will get you some type of counselor or somebody that can help you through this tough moment. Now, that being said,
well, listen, we got to do the white genocide parade, because the FBI says between 400 and 500 white individuals are killed by black people annually. So we'll get 30 here, you said? 30 here? We have a parade? What about the 470 additional white people that were killed by black people because black people don't like white people these days?
What about black people killing black people?
That's thousands.
White people killing white people.
Not as many.
White people killing black people.
Very low.
I'm just saying, if you're going to open it up, you got to open up to everybody. Mm-hmm. Every life means the same. Every life is no. I take that back. There's some scumbags that do deserve to die. Those that push grandma onto the tracks of a subway. Those that molest children. There's some people that have died that I wouldn't necessarily mourn for. But that being said, this particular group it's kind of misrepresentative, whatever you say. It's in the fact that, like, genocide is usually not by your own means, and the majority of these people killed themselves, and it's just like, I don't know, just to me seems odd that they're trying to use such, suicide's kind of a really, really, really important matter. It's a very much an epidemic that's sweeping through our young people, and we need better mental health. We've abandoned mental health in a lot of different areas of our children's upbringing, and we've just tossed it aside, and I think it's showing in the in the teen suicide rate. But these particular people took their own lives because of whatever reason, but you can't use the word genocide intimating that that society or an act of a very barbaric or tragic situation took place to take these people's lives. These people killed themselves. And yes, we should remember them, but we shouldn't call it a genocide. That's kind of not labeling it correctly. It's kind of confusing the issue, if you will. Whereas the issue of suicide's bad, and they should recognize that. $20, Gregory Nicholson on the PayPal.
All right.
PayPal, Venmo, Cash App at the Bubba Army. At the Bubba Army. And what this shouldn't be labeled, transgender genocide. This should just be able, RIP to our transgendering friends, or to our transgendering loved ones. RIP, rest in peace. And not try to make it something that it's not. And then, have like dial 988 on the banner. If, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. This should be more of a suicide prevention type deal than trying to loop in society killed these people, because society didn't kill these people. No dictator. That's what genocide usually is a dictator, isn't it?
You would think so. That's what it was before.
Wasn't Dan the Pol Pot and Hitler and all these people that have killed hundreds, tens of thousands, of hundreds of thousands, and millions, some instances, millions of people. That's called a genocide, isn't it, usually?
Yes, but it's also, they were saying that, Israel going into the West Bank or Gaza Strip and just killing a lot of people was genocidal. I mean, there was an argument that that's, a genocide.
Well, genocide.
When you have a civil war and one group just decimates the other group, there's an argument that that's genocide.
But genocide is not by the hands of you're not killing yourself. That's not genocide.
No, that's not genocide. That's suicide.
Right, exactly.
Genocide is killing a group, a defined group or subgroup of people.
Right. This looks to be kind of like maybe London. So anyway, it's just, again, if you're having issues, dial 988. This came down on Friday, and boy, they strategically released it Friday, like at 4:59, or I don't know when the Clearwater PD released it, but my phone's been blowing off the hook. And man, oh man, I got lummy on some FOIA, Freedom of Information Act requests with the city of Clearwater. I'd like to get a full report on their final report, as it's nearly a year, 11 months it took them to come up with their final death report as to how Hogan died. And I think within this finding, I've seen various reports where they said that there really wasn't a accurate autopsy given, and that he might have been cremated before that, and they've constantly made changes to this for this entire 11-month period. And I don't know this. I think I'm correct in the fact that the person that was the first one called to the hospital when he was pronounced dead was his general physician. And again, I got a physician in here today as a co-host, and he knows how things go protocol-wise, and the fact that, if I'd fall over dead right now, Lummy, they come pick me up in the ambulance, and as they're transporting me, they're doing all the stuff, and I'm dead on arrival, or once I get to the hospital, they pronounce me dead. Dr. Dan is my general physician. I also have another one, Dr. Demery, who I just got, but I don't think Frank Demery or Dan Diaco are going to be called into the hospital to do the final medical examination on me as to why I died. I think that the hospital would have somebody, I think Dan said it's a pathologist or a medical examiner or the coroner. Mm-hmm. There's people that do this every day, that sign death certificates and do the medical examination. There's people that specifically, Dr. Dan does plastic surgery type stuff. He can do other things too. He can do anything, but he doesn't. Dan, how many autopsies have you done? Like, how many autopsies or medical examinations of a dead body have you signed off on?
In the last 25 years?
Yeah.
0.
Exactly. Thank you. How many times has Tampa General called you on down to come on down and be the final set of eyes that was going to determine whether this person, died of natural causes or not?
0.
0. Thank you. And so, there is something going on here. Bad. There's something really bad going on here. And they got away with it. They absolutely got away with it.
I can't believe. It's like 1953 and everyone's accepting it.
Yeah, they absolutely got away with it. And the rest, not the rest, but the nurse. I think there were 2 people. There was a therapeutic nurse.
And a respiratory therapist?
I don't know. There was 2 people. There was 3 people. There was Sky, a nurse, and a nurse. Well, the nurse and the nurse went to go do something. And while they were gone, the nurse and the nurse were both gone somewhere in the house. Sky reports that he's not breathing. Oh. And I think initially one of the nurses kind of started maybe chirping a little bit, and it took them a little bit to get him under control. Well, nearly a year. Here's a little bit of the story. I'm gonna probably tomorrow, as Lummy's waiting on some more documents, I'm gonna probably try to break this down a little more thoroughly tomorrow as I get as I might have some more information.
Did Hulk Hogan's final moments hide a dark medical secret?
Yes, it did. I also found out, I don't know this to be true, it could be completely false, but he was a very good friend of mine, used to come on our Sirius XM show all the time, and that was Test. Remember Andrew?
Yeah.
Andrew?
Yep.
Test? Supposedly, his doctor of record was Gerald Fitzgerald.
Interesting.
That's Hogan's doctor that signed the death certificate that I think, Lummy, and I think you've told me, has been investigated and potentially disciplined by the Florida Bar of Medicine or whoever regulates that for potentially the overprescribing of opioids. I don't know that to be true. A rumor on the street, but I think Lummy might have some type of data to maybe potentially validate that.
Yes.
After months of intense speculation and shocking malpractice claims from his daughter, Brooke, the Florida police have finally released the definitive report on the wrestling legend's death. Was there criminal wrongdoing at the hospital?
No. Oh, by the way, look.
That was like when they used a shirt.
Hold on, let me. Look.
Yeah, the shirt.
Look, this is this isn't even us with the Bubba Army shirt.
Gotta like it.
No, there was no. Yes, I do think there might have been something at the hospital. I think they're all in on it. They're all in on it. And Dan, I don't understand how people that are smarter and more well-versed in, the protocol of determining somebody's dead than you are, the protocol of autopsy, the protocol of medical examination, the protocol of determining the cause of death, why somebody is just, I think you just said it a few minutes ago, why are we just laying down and accepting this? This is so not normal.
I don't understand. You would think at this point people would be so much more skeptical and interested in finding the truth. It's a shame.
Criminal wrongdoing at the hospital? Or did natural causes truly take the WWE icon?
They said in the report that 15 minutes before he died, he was talking, having regular conversations, and actually had some yogurt. I don't understand how you can just go that south that quickly. That if 15 minutes prior, he was talking, having conversations, acting very normal, even ate some yogurt, and then the two nurses excused themselves for a minute, and Sky says that he stopped breathing. To me, that seems a little fishy.
Investigation is
would he aspirate the yogurt? I mean, was he having that much of difficulty protecting his own airway?
No.
Or was he lucid enough to be able to eat safely?
Yes.
The investigation is officially closed, and the full truth has emerged. What do you think about these final findings? Drop your thoughts below and hit.
Yeah, I think that. Well, here's the news report that came down Friday late.
We are tracking breaking news out of Clearwater. Within the last few hours, Clearwater Police released its completed investigation into the death of
And Lummy, you've put a request in for that entire file, have you not?
Yes, I have.
And then there's another video floating around of body cam footage, and I have it right here of Hogan death investigation. Florida police released the interview with Hogan's occupational therapist. Supposedly, he's the one that initially was bringing. From what I can gather, I don't know it to be true, but from what I can gather, he's the one that initially started kind of flapping about how this doesn't seem right. He was only out of the room for a few minutes. All of a sudden, he stopped breathing. What the hell? And then all of a sudden, Lummy, he's now in lockstep with everybody else, and that he died of natural causes. That I think that he's the one that may have flip-flopped applesauce.
Oh.
WWE star Hulk Hogan last July. The department officially classified his death as natural. Clearwater police began the investigation after Terry Bollea was found unresponsive in his Clearwater home and taken to Morton Plant Hospital, where he later died. His wife, a home health aide, and an occupational therapist were at the home when it happened. The report says they noticed he was not breathing.
So there was a home health aide, an occupational therapist, and Sky.
when the occupational therapist tried to take his blood pressure. Investigators interviewed multiple witnesses and reviewed recordings in this case, which they say pointed to a natural death. Last year,
all right. So let's say at his mansion there, his 5,400 square foot home on Mandalay Avenue, or just actually on El Dorado Drive, I think it was. But let's say that for all intents purposes, he died of natural. We're just giving the benefit of the doubt. Dan, this question's more directed towards you. And that is, let's say he died of natural causes right there in his living room on his recliner. Let's just say for intents purposes that happened. Well, once you get to the hospital, there's a whole set of protocol and a whole set of how you're to do things when you're going to now start investigating what you have on your hands, which is a dead body. And I don't think that involves, and I've never heard it in all my years, but you can correct me if I'm wrong because you're a full-blown doctor, I don't think you call his primary physician to have him now come in and drive into a hospital. I'm assuming he may or may not have privileges. That would be interesting, Dan, to see if he had privileges at that hospital.
That would be interesting, but
I mean, again, I'm not a doctor, and maybe that's not in play. But like, it's my understanding that if you don't have privileges at a hospital, you really can't practice there.
Arguably, yes.
So if he doesn't have privilege, let's say that he doesn't have privileges, because why would he? He's a family physician. He's not a surgeon. Usually only specialty people in the medical field have privileges, i.e., when somebody's in there and they're really busted up, and like the emergency room nurse that put 8 stitches in your face.
Yes.
Arguably, they could have had a plastic surgeon on call. And Dan, you in your early part of your career, you did this where you were the plastic surgeon under emergency conditions in 2 or 3 different hospitals, and they would call you to come in on a plastic surgery procedure to really do it right.
Right.
That's a doctor that's got privileges. Or a urologist or a cardiologist or all, just anything that you can subsect an emergency into. I don't know that a family physician, just an overall family physician, 1, would have privileges. 2, how often does that happen where the medical examiner, the coroner, the pathologist on record of the hospital is not the one that usually those are the 3 people that you're going to find that sign the certificate of death.
Yes.
And then the other one being, like, how many other times did Dr. Gerald Fitzgerald work in this capacity? How many other death certificates has he signed? How many other times has he been called in to sign a death certificate on one of his patients? I would say probably not too many.
It's probably close to 0.
Right. Probably close to 1.
It's unprecedented, Bubba. No one does this. No one dies under weird suspicion and then has their primary care guy write the autopsy report. It'd be like Conrad Murray writing Michael Jackson's autopsy report after he let him die.
Yes.
Like, oh, well, natural causes, he just stopped breathing.
Hold on. I can't even think of a better analogy. That is absolutely the best analogy I've ever heard. Instead, Conrad Murray got rung up and I think did 4 to 6 years in prison.
Right. Because he let that poor guy die because he didn't attend him properly. And so if the guy that was probably feeding him narcotics at some point during his last 6 months, that has a history of feeding him narcotics, that's had multiple patients have such a problem with the narcotic supply from this Dr. Conrad, or Dr. Fitzgerald, that he's been sanctioned for it, and you're letting him write.
Now hold on, this whole thing, Dan, can be this whole thing.
It's like having Al Capone do his own criminal investigation.
Hold on now, this whole thing can be solved with this one particular equation, and that is, it's been brought to my attention. I don't know it to be true, but I think it is that Dr. Gerald Fitzgerald was Andrew. I forget. Was it Andrew Martin? I forget.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Test Andrew Martin, who died of an opiate overdose on Harbor Island. He lived in Harbor Island, and he died. They found him dead, and there wasn't even like rush him to the hospital and try to save him. He had died in the middle of the night, and they didn't find his body till the next day when nobody could get a hold of him. So he was dead. One, was he under Fitzgerald's care? I believe that he was. I've been told that Fitzgerald was his doctor, which aligns with Hogan. And then two, he died, and they had to, somebody had to sign the death. Who signed his death certificate? And did Dr. Fitzgerald get called in to come sign his? And I bet you he didn't. I bet you that Andrew Test Martin was standard protocol, and the coroner, the pathologist, or the medical examiner, or somebody at the hospital signed his death certificate. I guarantee you Fitzgerald did not. You got a wrestler that potentially died of pills prescribed by Fitzgerald. Now, I don't know if the pills he died from was from Fitzgerald, but Fitzgerald was his doctor on record. Did he have anything to do with Andrew Test Martin's autopsy, his death certificate, and did they call him into the hospital to sign it? I guarantee you, maybe you can do some digging and find me his his death certificate. And I guarantee you, Dan, that Fitzgerald is not on another famous pro wrestler who died under similar circumstances while being treated by the same doctor and had that doctor listed as their primary physician. I guarantee you he didn't do that wrestler's death. Why is he doing this one?
It don't make no sense.
Medical examiner ruled Hogan died of a heart attack at 71 years old. Records show he had a history of leukemia and atrial fibrillation. As we come on
So?
I'm just saying, man,
AFib doesn't give you a heart attack.
Nope. I'm just telling, man. And they immediately started doing CPR. Wouldn't that usually kick AFib out? Wouldn't that usually
CPR doesn't lead to a cardiac collapse. I mean, AFib. The problem with AFib is a stroke.
Right.
It's not a cardiovascular collapse. It's a stroke because of a clot in your atrium after you've had it for more than a day or two straight. It's not this.
No, by the way, Dr. Gerald Fitzgerald did not do his autopsy. It was a Dr. Bernard Adams did test.
Yeah, and can you find out what Dr. Bernard Adams' title in the whole medical world is? I'm assuming it's probably a coroner, a medical examiner, or a pathologist. If you were to look at what his
coroners and medical examiners are also pathologists by training.
Yes.
That's the way you become that.
Right. You start out as that, and then
He's
you...
There
you go. I'm sorry.
Pathologist.
Oh, okay. So hold on. Let me ask you just one question before we go into words.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this goes for you, Lummy, because you have the statistics right in front of you. So Dr. Gerald Fitzgerald is the doctor on record that signed Hogan's death certificate. True or false?
True.
Dr. Gerald Fitzgerald, I think of like Madeira Beach or...
No, he's Largo of
Larghetto.
Yes.
It's my opinion, and I've been told that he was the physician for Andrew Test Martin, and indeed, he did not sign Andrew Test Martin's death certificate. That was signed by a pathologist, Dr. Adams, I think you said.
Yeah, out of Tampa.
Out of Tampa. There you go. So why it'd be interesting to see, I'm sure you could find this information, how many other death certificates has Gerald Fitzgerald signed, and how many times has Morton Plant summoned him to come in and do such an act? Probably one. This is such a scandalous, and it's protecting one person, and I'm not going to get into it, but it is.
Oh.
And it's all under the umbrella of shady-ass Scientology. They came in because the Clearwater PD is bought and paid for by Scientology. And they didn't want how he truly died or who killed him to really, really ever be told. That's why he was quickie cremated. I mean, they were making changes up to this, and this comes from Brooke. As she was just been burning up the Clearwater PD, talking to various detectives and things. And they're like, well, we're continuing to make change. They're making changes on the death certificate clear up until 3 weeks ago. What do you change on a death certificate?
Doesn't make sense. Can I have one question, though?
Yeah, absolutely.
When was he cremated?
We need to find out that. Brooke would know. So, Lummy, I don't know if I
So
break
according
this
to
down
the
tomorrow.
Department of Health and State, I'm looking at this. It says Dr. Gerald Joseph Fitzgerald Jr. is a family medicine physician in Largo, not a forensic pathologist or medical examiner. That's from the DOH
Dan,
state.
that right there, when you just start opening it up and looking into this, isn't that a glaring red flag?
Oh, it's huge.
That the guy's not a pathologist, not a coroner, not a medical examiner. He's a family physician.
Here it says is family physicians like Dr. Fitzgerald do not routinely perform autopsies. In Florida, autopsies, especially forensic ones, are typically handled by a board-certified forensic pathologist in the district medical examiner's office.
Bingo. That's the way it all goes.
Out of protocol. It's grossly out of protocol.
That's the way it goes down when there's not a bad guy or some type of influence that's trying to affect the outcome of what is publicly distributed on how the most famous person in the world that lives in your city died. When you want to cover somebody's ass.
Bubba, it would just be like if someone really, really, really important was having a baby and they called me in to deliver the baby.
Right.
What the heck? I have no business doing that. Of course, I can do it, but am I the best guy to do it?
Nope.
Do I have authority for it? Do I have backup in case there's a problem? Do I know what to do in case there's a crisis? It's not appropriate.
And anything that and any tools that would answer all of the questions that you just asked are at the hospital. Everybody that you potentially need that could get you, let's say you started getting in some hot water there where it's going south, everything that you need, everything that you would potentially need under emergency circumstances of a birth, there's probably trained professionals at that hospital that could help you out. That should be doing the whole thing to begin with.
So this
right?
is what it says. It says attending or primary care physicians can sign death certificates for patients under their care only when the death is from natural causes and does not fall under medical examiner jurisdiction.
That's why they had to pencil whip for nearly 11 months. They had to get that he died of natural causes to be able to flank and cover Fitzgerald's ass and the protocol of what they did by letting his family physician sign the death certificate. Then they had to reverse engineer this so that he died of natural causes, which would cover Fitzgerald's ass and anybody that made the rule as to why he's the one that signed the thing. Right, Dan? They had to reverse engineer it.
Exactly.
They had to reverse engineer.
That allowed it to be valid.
Yes. What an absolute bunch of crap. I'm gonna talk to Brooke today privately and see if she wants to. I think there's a part of her that says, "You got me. You killed my dad. You killed him, and you pencil whipped it, and you made it so that it fell within your little alley of covering each other's asses. You guys pencil whipped it and came up with the right vernacular and words so that everybody that did it or anybody that got away with it got away with it." And it's just, there's a part, I think there's a part of her that says, listen, I can't fight this battle anymore. But then there's a part of it is like, you know what? I don't know that you can fight the battle because, it's like almost fighting City Hall. Like you can't fight. I mean, you know how many times I've been screwed over, but I didn't really have any recourse. There was not a governing body that I could go to say, well, why didn't they file charges on this guy? Or why this didn't happen? Or I don't know that there's a governing body that you could go to, Dan. The Florida Medical Board, or is there an oversight board that you can go to dispute this investigation?
I don't know. I mean, you could.
I think you could probably go civil.
You're gonna go like to the Florida Board of Medicine and protest his findings. I don't know the mechanism for that.
Yeah, especially when he's cremated.
Right now, you can't do anything.
No, and they didn't draw blood,
which is ridiculous.
They didn't draw. And their excuse was.
Are you telling me they didn't draw blood in the way of the hospital?
Nope, they said they didn't.
That's BS. They
couldn't.
They said they couldn't because he was dead. But it's my understanding that
you can draw blood when they're dead.
Exactly.
That's BS.
You can draw blood when that's what they told Brooke. We couldn't draw any blood because technically he was dead.
You can draw a bunch of blood after you die.
Yeah. I mean, cut open his finger, right? And get a couple of swabs, or what do they call it, swatches, right, Dan? Where they put them on like the glass slides, right?
I
don't know if that would be enough.
No, but Bubba, they could pull ounces and ounces of blood out of a freshly dead body without a problem at all, and do all kinds of toxicology on it. They could do hair. They could do all kinds of things. They could determine if he was getting a specific drug over the last month by his hair.
They could have done it. They could have pulled out some. They could have pulled out some hair. They could have, but they didn't do it. None of it. None of it.
Grossly negligent. It's grossly negligent.
So I'm going to lay this to rest, Lemmy, because I could go on and on. We're going to try. The next time I talk about this, hopefully, is when we have some more information that you've requested, and we'll really do a deep dive, maybe with Brooke. Maybe with Brooke.
Non-scripted and unregulated.
Sort of like the same sensation you get after sex.
Bubba the Love Sponge.
The Bubba the Love Sponge show returns after these words.
Hey, everybody. Sorry it's so. I gotta make sure Dan wipes his feet. Hi, everybody. Sorry, hot mic, so non-eventful. We're just trying to get shit done. Just make sure you wipe your feet, Dan.
I did.
I gotta talk about Gene on that.
Yeah. You got the mat there too, which is nice.
What's that?
You have that mat there, which is nice.
Yeah.
Macho's mic works too, by the way.
Oh, okay, perfect. Hey, we're number one.
I like that. What's up, Jeff Schwartz? Cash, good morning.
It's a sign. The end times are here. Ultra-powerful hurricanes, tsunamis, massive earthquakes, and Bubba the Love Sponge.
Sorry. So I didn't get a chance to. I got distracted. I got squirrel. When I started getting it, I got a super bunch of heat with Gene Lasker.
Oh, no.
So Friday when he was here, we have, you can walk outside the studio and go pee if you want, or you can walk out front. There's just different places that you can travel to around here, around the Clem compound. And of which there's some sandy areas here because we live out in the woods. And, Lasker, who I don't think Lasker wipes his feet. And I have rugs on all entrances into the studio has at least you're double rugged. A rug on the outside, the door on the outside of getting into the studio, and then the rug. I don't know if I have a rug over there from Macho's, but I got a rug on Macho's side. I don't have a rug on my side.
Yes,
so
yeah.
Lasker goes out and gets into a bunch of sand, and he's got these work boots on. And he comes in here, and after he left, it was just it tracked everywhere. And so I mopped again, and I actually mopped 2 times this weekend to try to get all the embedded sand. First of all, I swept with my Dyson. Swept all the sand up, but then
you can't blow it because it'll get on the equipment, right?
No, you got to sweep it.
Yeah.
Then I couldn't even get some of it seemed like it was ground in because this rubber flooring is kind of porous to a little bit of an extent. So anybody who's going to be in the studio, if you go outside, please wipe your feet. We have very effective, very coarse rugs that will take that sand off, and I don't have to be mopping. And I still think I have to get maybe some more powerful cleaner. I mixed in Simple Green with some stuff and tried to clean this place on Friday, mop it. But I still have some areas. But here's the deal: we pulled the rubber flooring from the old studio up, and some of the areas, we didn't necessarily mark where the rubber flooring came from. So some of it's been worn.
It's worn differently. It's not consistently worn.
Like some of it's brand new, and other parts of it were high traffic areas. So we've kind of matched it together. So I think I need to get maybe a really powerful rubber floor cleaner, clean it that can maybe get up some of the deep embedded type stuff. Then I do have a rubber floor sealer, but that requires you to stay off of it for 24 hours, which I'd have to do on a Friday. But maybe just on Fridays, is just the day that I mop the studio.
Yeah.
So it doesn't takes me about 15 or 20 minutes. But man, do I get a good sweat going.
You need to call Spot Clean.
Yeah, I could call Spot Clean, but I kind of want to do this. I kind of want not to anybody to really do it except me, the studios. These are kind of my baby. This is kind of my baby. Macho, we're going to do a mic test for you. Supposedly your microphone is now available, and I need to see where your levels are. So if you could just give us a quick howdy. How are you?
Good morning, Bubba. How are you doing this morning?
Perfect.
It does sound good.
Nice processing, too.
You had a chance to mess around with it over the weekend?
You're perfect. I got you right down the middle at zeros. Good job, bud.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Yep.
So I'm just going to keep you on, and you can regulate whether you chime in or not from over there, as you see fit.
Sounds good.
Thank you. So, listen, I don't think we can come up with a federal law with regards to anybody that's under the age of 18 that does these teen takeover type deals or commits a crime or does something that could get them arrested or disruptive or fighting or just whatever, like Grady Judd, and I think some of the agencies here locally have a very, very great stance.
We saw Naco at the Grove when they tried to do it. He was out there.
I think it all goes back to you could really, really put a dent in this if they say, hey, we can go back and charge you as parents if we can prove that you knew about this or, you're just not a very good parent and you didn't stop your kid from doing this. I think that would really thwart a lot of this, the teen takeovers. And there's a common denominator, and don't blab it out, but I think everybody's been able to figure it out. There's a common denominator here. And I just, if you went back to these kids' parents and threw them in jail, because I don't really think you can throw the kids in jail that long. I think it's the severity of the crime. And so I got 5 instances of kids fighting this weekend. And I think a lot of this is fueled by the fact that they think they're going to go viral. So, listen, I don't think kids square up and fight that often privately without somebody documenting it. I don't think that really happens that much. And one of the reasons why I think that they're more apt to square up and fight and why this is literally an epidemic is because they know that it's being taped by one of their buddies and it's going to go World Star or TikTok or Insta. You know what? I would encourage those places of various viralness to not post this stuff. Like, how they have rules on nudity and sometimes language, and every platform has their little hot buttons that they won't post.
Yeah.
So if you stop posting this stuff, then they can't go viral. And I think most of it is because they think they can go viral. And so if you just don't post it and you start holding their mom and dads responsible, maybe we can put a stop to this. But, now that these kids are out of school, you see 4, 5, 6 of these a day. This was outside of a church fest.
The Catholic Church, yeah.
The Ohio Catholic Church had to shut down its annual festival because of a teen takeover. Watch this.
That led to it. A large fight with multiple people really sending FunFest into a tailspin, shutting down the event for the rest of the evening. And as of last night, the remainder of the event was canceled, cutting the weekend short.
As a teen, I am really embarrassed that you guys are out.
Now, hold on. If you're a teenager, now I don't know that she's 18 or 19, but you got 13, 14, 15, 16. So you got 5 years of her potentially being one side of the teenager, and you got 2 years of her potentially being the other side of the. Look at the tattoos. Isn't it illegal to tattoo somebody under 18?
Without parental consent?
Yeah. You had to have parental consent.
Here acting like this, it's really embarrassing, and we came out here to have fun. We can never do anything right. You guys always act up, and this is completely embarrassing.
She got a good message. She's got a great message.
This comes amidst recent waves of teen takeovers and strings of recent violent incidents with teens.
Is the person doing the story on Xanax? It's like they took a Xanax before they started to do the.
That's Ohio media.
Violent incidents with teens at local events. Mayor Bexley calls it unfortunate and unforeseen.
By the way, I have the volume turned up as sky high as it'll go.
The statement, Columbus Mayor Andrew Ginther says neighborhood events should be welcoming places for residents and families to come together, calling this behavior unacceptable.
He should further say, we're going to start holding the parents responsible for these kids that are causing this type of havoc, shutting great things down like church gatherings and festivals. And, as we continue to arrest these juveniles, we're going to start unwinding who their parents are and bringing you in and asking you some questions.
Fine them. Just to do fines.
Yeah.
And the parents have to pay it, or put the parents in jail that way.
And then
you
default.
Have a fine.
Then they default, and
Right.
then you put a warrant out for them, right?
Right, exactly.
So you fine them out. Whatever the judicial system fines them $1,000, Parents got to pay for it. Parents don't pay for it. Now there's a bench warrant out for said parents, and we get you that way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, no one's been here this morning, and as you
Oh, no wonder. My God.
Oh, my God, man.
You got Wimpy the hamburger eater from Popeye on there?
What happened to, like, TV?
I don't know.
It's like TV. It's television. It's a visual product.
Oh my
Why
God.
do we
and
have...
the guy can't even talk. The guy can't even, like, push his voice to be a little bit more, have a little higher octave.
He can't project his voice. His nipples are sticking out more than his voice is.
I actually like this channel because they have somebody who got bigger man boobs than me.
That's right. Make me feel good.
Look at this guy. Listen, hold on. Watch.
see, the ticket booth and booths here are really just tented up, really not even going to come down except for...
Listen, buddy.
Wait, he's handicapped. He sounds like he's got like a little
bam, bam, bam.
A little bam, bam, bam.
Really?
Oh my God!
Maybe that's the new gimmick. Now you put an autistic guy out there, and everybody's like, "Hey,
oh my
God! Do you see? Hold on."
Vendors start breaking it down to clear out the area.
Breaking it. He's got so not only is he physically repulsive,
he's got a speech impediment.
He has no absolute projection to his voice. He has a speech impediment. And I think he's handicapped.
And he really probably wears a 46 slack, and he's in a 36, and he doesn't even have him he's got him down by his pubic mound area with that big muffin top. When you're fat, hey, listen, buddy, I'm a fat guy, and I know when you're fat, you gotta pull your pants over your belly. Now, you don't want to high waist them, but you want to put it right there at your belly button. You want to put them right there. I mean, Dan, even skinny guys like you, don't you wear your pants right at your belly button?
Yeah.
Ish?
I mean, he looks like he's a pimple about to pop.
But I'm just asking you, on behalf of an in-shape skinny guy.
Yes, I wear it above my hip, right at my hip bones, and below my belly button.
And right at, or either at, or just maybe, a quarter inch below your belly button.
Yeah, maybe an
inch. Yeah.
When vendors...
He's a foot.
Oh, yeah, that's pressuring against his pubic mound, because your belly button's about right here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his belly button is as deep as mine. You can probably put a Glad trash bag in there.
Yeah, you can hold a gallon of water in his belly
the kids can go swimming in my belly button.
The diving horse could land in your belly button.
I've actually got a diving board on my house where people can dive into my belly button.
It doesn't look like he's Bam Bam Bam. It looks like he graduated from California State University. He's into poetry.
Yeah,
I believe that.
Into eating.
And his name's Rocky.
He's a foodo. He's a foodie.
Here we go. Hold on. Quiet. Here we go.
Start breaking it down.
Breaking it. I can't believe he's got a speech impediment. He's on TV.
Start breaking it down.
Breaking it. Oh, you're breaking my heart.
Breaking. Hold on. Listen.
Really not even going to come down except for when vendors start breaking it down to clear out the area. That's all I've seen this morning thus far. Live on your side in Bexley, Rocky Walker. Good day, Columbus.
Well, the only thing that's refreshing about him is he's not reading off his cell phone.
True.
You know what I mean? So obviously he probably does have some
bit.
intelligence. He can actually remember his name and the name of the story.
Walkie. Hey, Walkie.
Thanks, Rocky.
Thank you, Walkie. Pull up your pants here, buddy.
Reaction was swift from Columbus City leaders.
The statement from Chief Elaine Bryant, female police chief.
Police Chief Elaine Bryant posting a lengthy message to social media asking parents for partnership and accountability.
Yeah, now asking. Instead of saying, we're going to arrest your ass and you are responsible for your children's behavior, we're asking for your help to help us get through this. Can we have your cooperation as parents? Instead of Grady Judd saying, listen, your kids go out and do stupid stuff. Don't think that my boys ain't going to be knocking on your door asking you some hard questions. That ain't cooperation. That's what's going to happen. Instead, Elaine Bryant, Police Chief Columbus, wants to say, to the young people coming into our city to participate in street takeovers, reckless gatherings, and other unlawful activities, and to the parents and guardians who are responsible for them, hear this message clearly. We want our young people to enjoy the summer, spend time with friends, and create positive memories. Our city offers numerous safe opportunities for recreation, entertainment, community events, parks, sports programs, and youth-focused. Hold on.
Bottom line, the chief said, let me be clear, lawlessness will not be tolerated.
Activities, there are plenty of ways to have fun without putting ourselves and others at risk. What will not be tolerated are street takeovers, reckless driving, disorderly behavior, vandalism, assaults, or any actions that endanger the safety of residents and visitors. These events create dangerous conditions and can quickly escalate into violence, serious injury, or even loss of life.
In our city, we will hold individuals accountable for their actions.
Oh, okay. I guess she finally did get to there.
And in a post on Facebook,
Father Bob. In between raping young men, I want to let you know that I'm very disappointed that I have to cancel. That I got to cancel the remainder of Fun Fest 2026. Sorry. Gives me more time to spend in the confession booth with little Johnny. Let me, what did you send me, my friend? And I'd love the sound effect, by the way.
Oh, I didn't say anything. That wasn't me.
Oh.
He's got rhoticism. It's called rhoticism. I just looked it up. You know the
I don't know who sent me one, but I don't have anything.
Elmer Fudd with the wascally wabbit.
Yeah.
That's what this guy has. It's called rhoticism.
Rhoticism. Let me, when I return, I got 4 more of these. Not necessarily teen takeovers, but they're either teen takeovers or African-American girls fighting. And there's just one fight that I am disgusted by, and it's hard to watch. This poor little, looks to be like maybe 6 or 7-year-old African-American girl is clearly in distress. She's on the ground. She's trying to protect her face. Here's the screenshot. She's trying to protect her face. This girl right down here. Hopefully Mach will throw it up there. She's trying to protect her face. And these looks like to be maybe 3 or 4 other African-American girls that might be of her age or maybe a year or 2 older. Literally beat her to death. Now, I don't think she dies. I know she doesn't die. But I mean, it is the most savage, hard to watch video that I've seen in a long time. And I know they can identify who these other kids are, and I don't know what you can do to a 7-year-old. I really don't. But I know that you can probably maybe arrest their mom and dads. And I don't have a daughter. You don't have a daughter. But let me, if it was Walker down on the ground and he had 3 or 4 little boys that were doing this to him, I know you're a gentle giant, but I think not you. Ashley would go down there with a gun and probably kill the parents.
Oh, yeah.
And Dan, you've had a daughter, and you've probably never had to experience anything like this because the people that you hang out with and your daughter hang out with and your daughter was properly parented and the people she hung out with was probably properly parented.
Mm-hmm.
Wait till you see this. It is absolutely... Well, here.
Luke is saying $60.
Thank you, Luke. That's worth a gimmick. So the first person on X that mentions is a guy named Michael Montero. He's got a check mark by him. I guess maybe he's a boxer. Montero on boxing, or maybe he's a boxing analyst. As a father of 2 little girls, and this video disgusts me. That poor baby. Crap like this is happening every day in our American cities. Half of the country just wants to pretend that it's not really a thing. If we start holding our parents accountable, this sort of thing will stop. When I play it next, it's some of the worst kid-on-kid fights I've ever seen. And you would think that the worst kid-on-kid fight that you saw would be like a couple 14, 15, 16-year-old guys. You know, like that would be maybe the most brutal, like as far as the demographic of who's participating in the most brutal teen kid fight you've ever seen. Not 7- and 8-year-old girls. But it is. I'll do it next.
Want to listen to the show on demand and on the go? Enlist today at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Sign up and start listening. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
No, he's just he's in the race.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, Typical rookie.
Church 311, 84 months. Art Thompson, Florida, 84 months. Thank you. Hope you did too, Uncle Rocky. Yeah. Are we just gonna put? Are we taking? Do you need to take them upstairs?
If you can, I mean.
Well, I mean, what are you gonna? You and Jay carrying them up there? If we don't
Jay won't help me. It'll be me and Sophia.
Oh gosh.
Me and Danny.
Not dumber.
No, not dumb. Dumber's gone. He's not dumb.
What do you mean Dumber's gone? He's back. He's gone again.
I don't know. He's gone. I haven't seen him in months. I just got dumb.
What? Did he dip out?
Well, once I started, once Dumb was out of jail and back in town, off probation, then Dumber just vanished. Dumb chases Dumber.
Oh, nice.
Dumb beats Dumber. It's like paper over rock.
Are they both back?
No, I just have Dumb, not Dumber. Dumb's way better. He actually is a great car washer. Dumber is like, washes it with his handkerchief and spit. Dumb's got a trailer and pre-foams it, and the whole 9 yards. There's science in there somewhere. I'm not sure he understands it, but he follows it.
Whoa. Ed Hingus Revenge 100 months. Thank you. Thank you, Raider JX. Small Town Bourbon.
If your vehicle is broke down, and it doesn't matter whether it's a BMW, a Mini, a Mercedes, a Porsche, Audi, Ford, Chevy, Escalade, Ferrari, it doesn't matter. My boy Terry at Preferred Auto Service will take care of it. He actually specializes in European and import automotive services. Don't take your car to the dealership and get bent over. Give Terry a call. 813-875-8007. Located at 4404 North Thatcher Avenue, right by the stadium. You can always go to their Facebook page. Preferred Auto Service. Tell them Bubba sent you.
What the hell are you doing?
Strap yourself in. The emotional roller coaster is about to start.
We will give nothing back to the academic community, as well as provide no public service of any kind.
I promise you.
Now back to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Just getting texts from Brooke as we just go live. I need to ask her, do you want to call in? She's like, Dan's legal and medical. And yeah, Dan is legal and medical, so it might be a good time to call in. She's just absolutely beside herself. Her exact quote is, I'm crawling out of my skin. I just cannot accept this. It'd be just, she lost her father like you did yours, Dan, but yours was not under any shading, need to do some type of autopsy, and then the agency that does the autopsy won't work with you. They won't give you the official autopsy report unless you sign an NDA. There was none of that. It was all very...
No, it's a dystopic movie. It's bizarre. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. And they have locked it up now and thrown away the key, where I don't know that she'll ever... I'm just gonna call her. I'm just gonna call her, because I figure, one, I'm live, and I'm just gonna call her.
Perfect.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Come on.
The person you're trying to...
Come on, Brookie. I'm trying to say, I tried to call you.
Or call right back again, because sometimes they have...
tried to call you.
Well, sometimes, Stein has it where you call once, it goes voicemail, you got to call back.
Kids do that. Yeah, you got to double call them.
Yeah.
Does she have the warm line?
Yes.
All right, she's going to call in. And, we're going to... This is probably going to take over everything, but this is something that... we certainly need to get into, especially with striking while the iron's hot, and her emotions are absolutely going crazy. And I think she might need to kind of... Oh, there it is. I got it.
I wonder if the federal...
Hey, Brookie. So we talked about this early this morning, and I told everybody that I'd gotten some texts from you last night, but I needed to kind of wade through. I probably needed to speak to you privately as to, where we were going to go with this. But I feel like we're very transparent, and we don't have anything, or you don't have anything to hide, and you've been very much a critic as I have with regards to this whole process. And, Dan's here now as a doctor, and we just waded through the fact that, Fitzgerald was on Andrew Test Martin's, Fitzgerald was his primary physician and didn't sign his death certificate. And how many death certificates did this guy sign previously in his career? Probably none. And that by protocol, the hospital uses its pathologist or coroner or medical examiner to usually do the final sign-off on everybody's death certificates, and just how this whole thing just screams of a cover-up, or somebody's being taken care of, or it's just, there's so many glaring red flags and missteps here. And you, who have, more standing than me or the local ABC affiliate or TMZ, you're actually, that's your father, and they are screwing with you as bad as, they are absolutely positively not being good to you at all, or forthright, or honest, or anything.
I'm just going to say this, and I want to preface this because you and I have reconnected. I don't care who's listening, if it's my mom, my brother, the press, whatever. Deep down, those people know what a good friend you were to my dad. They know how you were our Uncle Bubba. They know who you are as a person. The sex tape thing does not weigh in on my ability to reconnect and have a good relationship with you because, number one, guys sometimes do stupid stuff. Number two, my dad had a hypnotic effect over everybody. I have seen this kind of situation happen multiple times. Things I'm not talking about, it goes so far beyond this death. It goes so far beyond the scandals anybody knows. It goes so far beyond that sex tape is like a drop in the bucket. So, and if you watch your documentary, Video Killed the Radio Star, it really, and I'm not promoting, I'm not, marking out here. It really does explain. If the public really wants to know, so I'm sorry, I'm beside myself. I just want people to know I'm not coming on Bubba to use it as a mouthpiece. Bubba is who I consider my Uncle Bubba. I always loved Bubba. My family always loved Bubba. It's just that people don't like it when they are revealed. They don't like it when they're pressed. They don't like it when they're pressured. And as you can tell, Bubba, I'm full hot, and I wasn't prepared for this call, and I might, I'm normally pretty cool, calm, and collected.
But there's just so many. There's just so many facets to this that you can't. Like I know you personally. I spend a lot of time talking to you, and I can tell that you are audibly scrambled right now. Like you can't even grab a hold of yourself because
my hands are shaking because I'm contemplating whether I just lay it all out right now and let the public decide. Let the public be the jury and decide. Or keep being afraid.
Yeah.
So for me, the timing is perfect because I know that, let's just say the estate and the people involved are facing multiple different issues and lawsuits, some that the public don't know. And it's just perfect timing to wrap this up. It's also perfect timing that I physically went and pulled my dad's death certificate a day before they closed this case and a day before the Clearwater Police came out with a statement. Second, and I think my fans and I think people know me well enough to know that I have integrity. I try to keep my mouth shut. I've tried to stay out of this stuff. But dear Clearwater Police, keep my effing name out of your mouth. You have not treated me like family. You have not helped me. You have not been in touch with me like you should have been. There have been so many, and my family, by the way, I would have continued to talk to Nick. The fallout really happened when Nick Khan called me and was like, we extended the invite to all the WWE stuff through your brother. So that's fine. I get that you don't want my face there too. Whatever. Maybe I lost my privileges because I didn't attend a funeral my dad didn't want. Maybe I didn't want to see my dad paraded around like a show pony with makeup on smelling like formaldehyde. Sorry that that's not what my dad wanted. Sorry that I didn't want sorry that I didn't want to deal with all the shady people around him. I guess that makes me not his daughter anymore, right? I guess that makes me not as equal to Nick. I guess that makes me not able to get any answers. I asked for the autopsy. I was the one that asked for the autopsy. I offered to pay for it. But instead, they're like going to babyface. Oh, no. Okay, we'll do it. Okay, well then why didn't you list an autopsy on his final death certificate? That's my first thing. Unless that autopsy contains something that doesn't align with your narrative, because I've asked for it publicly. Nobody is trying to give it to me. Nobody's trying to be like, Brooke, shut up. Here it is. If anything, don't say anything that's on it because there's something damning on there that's embarrassing for Dad. Nobody's saying anything like that. If it all lines up. So then I want to go through what the Clearwater Police report said, or whatever their statement is, their bogus statement. First of all, I want to know, okay, one nurse arrived at 7 and McCamey came at 10, right? So they're both there, apparently attending to my dad. The story that I got from Nick and the story that Sky told Nick, because Sky told Nick, don't come to the house, go straight to the hospital, and this is the story I've been told. So you guys can come after me. You can do whatever the F you want. but this is the story I was told. Nick told me, Sky said, don't come to the house, go straight to the hospital. Okay, that would make sense. Like, we're leaving now, don't even come here maybe, because Nick was supposed to be going to pick my dad up for a doctor's appointment. What I find hard to believe is that Sky was the only one that noticed him not breathing. There's 2 medical professionals there, and Sky's the one that notices that he's not breathing. It says when McCamey went to take his vitals, there were no vitals. So he was dead, okay? It also starts in the middle of the police report when both nurses came back. Came back from where?
Yeah,
he was pronounced dead at 11:17 at the hospital. McCamey showed up to the house at 10-something.
We brought
Where
that
did they
up.
come back from?
We brought that up. People like,
Did they
okay,
go up to,
did they go upstairs?
Did they go up to go take a poop or something? And then, like, why were both nurses gone that they had to come back from somewhere? Why was he unattended to the point where Sky was the one that had to notice, okay? So then let's just talk about what's listed as his quote-unquote natural death.
May I ask a question real fast?
I don't see a phrenic nerve listed there.
Hold on. Dr. Dan's got a question. Go ahead, Dan.
The nurses, were they male nurses, female nurses, one of each?
Apparently there was one female nurse and there was the male nurse, Mr. McCamey, who has run and is hid. Nobody can find him. He won't answer the phone. Like, I've tried to get a hold of him. He's gone. So you tell me why.
Law enforcement...
Tell me why it had to be a private nurse, a private doctor signing off, and a private autopsy that I asked for, that Sky and Nick were like, oh, don't worry, we're going to be the good guys. We'll pay for an autopsy, and then not show you the autopsy. I thought Sky wanted a medical malpractice case. I guess that's not happening now. So let's talk about what classifies as a natural death. Dan, I have questions for you. If you have a severed phrenic nerve, don't you think that would be listed on his cause of death? It says history of atrial fibrillation. Yes, that's true. That's probably the only thing that I believe is true on there. He had a history of atrial fibrillation.
Which doesn't cause death.
Which doesn't cause
many
death.
Cardioversions. Right. We went through many cardioversions, many ablations. He lived through all of them. And then they classify and Dan, you can tell me if I'm wrong, a heart attack is very different than cardiac arrest. Circulatory arrest, cardiocirculatory or whatever it's called, heart arrest, where your heart just stops. If you're, Kurt Cobain and you overdose, or if you're, whatever, your heart can just stop. A heart attack is caused by something, a blockage, correct, Dan? Am I wrong?
Well, yeah, and people blend those and confound those often, and so your distinction's pretty accurate. If you have a heart attack, that means that you had blood flow interrupted to your heart through a coronary artery. Your heart became ischemic, and then something happened, like the heart tissue died, or you went into an arrhythmia. When your heart just stops, that could be from a number of things, but not necessarily, ischemic. Coronary artery disease blockage. You can just stop because, like you said, too many narcotics, you stop breathing, and all of a sudden the heart just slows down and stops. So that would be like a cardiovascular collapse.
So they've listed it as a heart attack. Okay, fine. Let's just say that it classified as a heart attack.
So then there should be an acute blockage.
As a heart attack. They classified it as a heart attack, mind you, before they ever did an autopsy. Okay, so we're not really sure if something was a blockage that hit his heart. They decided that before they even did an autopsy.
So an autopsy. If you had a heart attack, Brooke, the autopsy would be able to show a clot in like the left main coronary artery, or one of the blood vessels supplying the heart would absolutely have a blockage in it, and it would be found during the autopsy. It would be part of the autopsy.
Okay, so then wouldn't you amend his death certificate and say yes, there was an autopsy? Because right now his death certificate, that's public record, says no autopsy. So why wouldn't you be like, yeah, we did an autopsy. It's on his death certificate. Everything lines up. So whatever.
Because hold on, Brooke, because maybe they didn't do an autopsy and they just pencil whipped it. And since there's no autopsy on the death certificate says that, which you just said, maybe they really didn't do one.
And an autopsy should include like the weight of the heart. You know what I'm saying?
Unless I was looking at a dummy laying there in the coffin, which I also think is weird that they took my phone from me when I'm his daughter. Like, I'm going to go be a mark and go take pictures of my dead dad and put them on Instagram.
Right.
Like, I think all of those people know that I'm not that person. They took my phone from me. But unless I was looking at a dummy, I saw the autopsy marks cut like a V on his chest. So there was an autopsy done if that was my real dad laying there that I saw. So if they did an autopsy and they want to be like, look, we did our due diligence, there was an autopsy, put it on the death certificate. So then this is the next thing about the heart attack that, and I could be wrong, I know for a fact he had filters in his groin from previous things. That would stop blood clots from coming up from your legs, okay? You're supposed to remove them after 3 months, but they forgot to, and they said, well, now we can't take them out. They're supposed to take them out through
Not
your neck.
necessarily.
So I know for a fact okay, cool. So then he had filters in his groin.
They stay there for a lot of times. They stay forever.
But Dan, that would stop a clot, wouldn't it?
It would stop a blood clot from your legs from a DVT from like flying too much from going to your lung and causing a pulmonary embolus. It has nothing to do with the kind of clots you would get from AFib that would cause a stroke, or the kind of clots that would cause a heart attack when you have a clot of your coronary artery.
Hold on, which would show up on an autopsy.
All of which would show up in an autopsy. Yes. And if they split him with the Y-shaped incision, like all the organs should have a specific paragraph about that organ.
And
the liver, it weighed 900 grams. It was fatty. There was no gallbladder disease. There was no gallstones. The heart, there was no coronary artery disease. It weighed 455 grams. The vessels were patent. I mean, every organ has a little paragraph about it with a weight and a condition.
And
right.
I don't think
where that.
When it comes to cholesterol, from my understanding, unless my dad just all of a sudden got high cholesterol in the last 2 years I wasn't there, my dad's blood and health and cholesterol was low. He did everything to take care of his health. So that for him to die like somebody with high cholesterol and fatty tissues in his arteries and stuff, it's pretty unlikely. So I'm like, okay, but let's just say it was a heart attack still. Now, they say history of AFib, heart attack. What else did they say on the autopsy? CLL leukemia, which is something that I'm really treading lightly here on. I'll just say this: we don't have a history of family at all on both my dad's side of his parents. Right? There's no cancer that runs anywhere. And when I talked to Nick said maybe it's from all the growth hormone and steroids and stuff that can make your. And I said that makes sense. That could make your cells inflamed. That could definitely speed up a process of maybe getting cancer or something like that. And I guess I'm just going to go at this by saying I am not trying to embarrass my dad. All we're talking about is medical, okay? I could be completely wrong. I don't know it to be true. This is alleged. What else do I need to say to protect myself?
Well, I think you have. And here's the other thing, Brooke. This is your personal opinion, and we're not talking about somebody that you're talking about your father. So you can have any type of opinion about your dad and the dealings you had with him, your knowledge of his medical condition, the medical situations that you went through with him. He was in his best shape of his life when he was with you and Jennifer, as far as people taking care of him and his medications and his appointments and things like that. So, yes, you can say, allegedly, I don't know it to be true, it's my opinion, but realistically, your opinion can never be wrong because you have standing to have that opinion, right, Dan? I mean, it's her father. She can have an opinion about anything. She could say my dad was an alien, and my dad, she could say anything.
This is going to be explosive, and I hope that the press treats me nicely, and I know they won't. But and Bubba, can you send the 2 screenshots that I sent to you to Dan so that he can refer to this as I'm talking, please?
Yeah. Yes, I will right now.
So my dad got doctors from when he had a lot of joint pain, tons of joint pain constantly all the time. Clearly, we know he was in a lot of pain. I want to clear up the fact that my dad was not, as much as people want to paint him as like drugs. I think there was a time when he was younger, he did drugs to party and have fun. Like, Bubba, if you guys would take, painkillers and then go out on the jet skis on a beer or whatever, there was a fun point.
Yeah.
There was a fentanyl thing, which really wasn't his fault. The doctors gave him fentanyl patches, and he thought he was doing half doses by cutting the patches in half. What happens when you cut the patches in half is it releases all the fentanyl, and that didn't kill him. And that was years ago. And then anytime we were in the hospital, I had strict notes, which I put in all of his medical profiles and stuff, when Tampa General or Morton Plan or anybody opens up this thing, it says no opiates. Like that should be like on his like allergies. That should be something that's on his profile. So, and I told Nick that, and he goes, "Oh shit! Well, they already gave him so and so." So, back to what I'm about to talk about. When I was laying in bed, and I was like, CLL leukemia, like that's weird. Like what? That just does something. And everybody listening, there's something with your intuition, with call it the Holy Spirit, call it women's intuition, with something, right? There's something. And I'm thinking syphilis, I already said it. Well, cancer, CLL in your bones, in your bones, in your bones. And Nick said he wasn't healing, so they had to check his bones, and they did the bone marrow test. While he was alive, they did the bone marrow test, and it came back and it said, oh, my God, he has CLL leukemia. That's why he's not. And apparently I've heard he was ported. I don't know that to be true either, but I do know that if you wanted to stick an air bubble in a port, you could kill somebody real quick. That aside, I'm laying in bed, and a conversation that I had with my dad hit me. And he was, like, proud of it, right? He was, like, excited that these doctors could fix him and help him. So he went a bunch of times down to Panama. He went to Mexico. He went for all these, PRP treatments and stem cell treatments and all these things. We've had an issue where, Dan, you could tell me if I'm right or wrong on this, but they have to wash the stem cells in something to make sure that they're clean or whatever before they give them to you. And he had a very bad allergic reaction to whatever they washed the cells in. And it gave him like really bad conjunctivitis and just he had a horrible, horrible reaction. So he comes back from one of these trips. And I was like, how was it? And we're standing in his living room, by the way, which had cameras, and there's no footage of him dying in the living room, but we'll get to that next. And he goes, man, these doctors are amazing. Like, they did a whole scan of my body, da-da-da. He goes, they found syphilis in my bones. And I go, what? And he goes, yeah, they found syphilis in my bones. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, syphilis, that's like cholera, or that's like 1800 stuff. Like, who has syphilis anymore? Like, what? Like, and I was kind of, and I know a lot about medical and stuff, but that was something that just kind of hit me sideways, and I had to like Google it. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's like a sexually transmitted thing or whatever. And he goes, yeah, they found syphilis in my bones. And I just get googly, and I'm like, would syphilis in your bones, like, potentially accidentally be mistaken for CLL leukemia? And I'm thinking, like, this, you know, I could be way off track here. I'm expecting to be wrong. I'm expecting, like, this is going to be like, Brooke, you're going crazy late night, right? Here's the answer. Syphilis in the bones can be confused with other chronic lymphocytic, how do you say that, lymphocytic leukemia, or other hematologic malignancies, right? So basically, in short, and tell me if I'm wrong, Dan, in my experience of all the medical stuff I've gone through with my dad, if you're gonna get tested for HIV or hepatitis or cancer or whatever, the first thing they look for are white blood cell elevation or antibodies or something like that. And usually you can pretty much tell, you know, if you have hepatitis and you've got the antibodies, you know, you ask the doctor, how likely is it that I have hepatitis? Well, the antibody level is really high. It's a really high chance, but we still have to test for the hepatitis itself. Correct or not correct?
For the most part, yes.
Okay. So the weird thing about syphilis is that it is known, it's famously known as the great imitator, quote unquote. While they're completely different diseases, syphilis being a treatable bacteria infection and CLL being a slow blood-growing cancer, their systemic and structural presentations can overlap significantly. So on x-rays, all the tests, you can be like, yep, it's definitely CLL, but syphilis can act exactly the same, and it triggers the same leukocytes that fight leukemia. So if you have syphilis in your bones and you did a test and you're like, holy crap, his blood is full of leukocytes, like all the things that fight leukemia are present in his blood, he's 71 years old, this has to be CLL. I wonder if they actually did deeper, further testing to find the difference of what it really was, because cancer really hit me off when I heard that. And I wonder, I'd love to have an answer. If I'm wrong, somebody please correct me. I would love to be wrong.
Let me hand it over to Dan for just a second, but let me just step in by saying, oh my God, Brooke, you really, really have done extensive research. I'm blown away with your knowledge and how far you've dug into this, and I think you have some unbelievable questions. Dan, as a doctor, try to step in and address it whatever you can.
It's first of all, yes, syphilis can mimic other diseases, including CLL. But we're in 2026, and syphilis is very treatable with antibiotics. And he took antibiotics all the time. If he had anything wrong, he would take an antibiotic. So the chances of him having, 20-year-old syphilis is about zero. Also, a lot of marriages back in the day, I don't know if they still do it today, but 20 years ago, they were still requiring a syphilis test before you got a marriage certificate. So I really, 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 really doubt he had untreated 20-year-old chronic syphilis. That doesn't make sense to me. A guy that's had access to that kind of medical care would have missed syphilis for that long, because it wouldn't be acute syphilis wouldn't do that. It would be chronic syphilis.
I do have something that I could maybe add to this, but I have to be very careful. And Brooke, I've talked to you privately about it, but just me hanging out with Hogan, I know some things that he told me, and I can't say it. I legally cannot say it, but he has
the risk factor ability.
Brooke,
is that what you're saying?
Brooke is, in her assessment of potentially having traces of syphilis, it's my opinion, based on some of the things that I've seen and known, that might not be as outlandish as people think it is. I'm just going to state that.
I understand there could be a potential for an infection, but didn't he take antibiotics all the time? I mean, he was very attuned to when he was sick, and he would take antibiotics, and the same antibiotics that treat, like the Z-Pack and things like that, all kill syphilis.
Yeah, I mean,
go
ahead, Brooke.
My dad was very, and this kind of goes to my next point, and Dan, that's great. I'd be happy to know that that's not true. I just thought it was very strange.
But they would tell him that. They would tell him that.
Bones. Now, he was never really sick, too, by the way, which I think is, like, a Z-Pack was a very rare thing that he would, take a Z-Pack. I don't remember the last time my dad was, sick with a cold. I don't think I can ever remember my dad being sick with a cold. Maybe once, years ago, if we came home with it from, St. Cecilia or something. I really can't remember my dad being sick with a cold.
But syphilis also affects two other things you're not talking about. It makes you walk funny, and it pickles your brain over time too. And so you could argue that maybe his sort of weird gait and the fact that he was maybe making decisions that he wouldn't have made 20 years earlier that weren't maybe the best decisions in life. Those were all also part of the constellation of symptoms that you get with chronic syphilis. So, it's certainly a possibility. It's just bizarre.
But so Brooke, let's.
How long would you have to go without antibiotics for syphilis to
get that far?
Kind of take housing in your bones and start
15 to 20 years.
Magnifying.
15 to 20 years.
So
it's a slow thing. So syphilis, you get a little sore, and then it goes away, and then nothing happens for years.
So Brooke, let's talk about the lack of footage, because during the police report,
so wait, hold on. I'm just not done quite yet there.
Okay.
So then,
all right.
Dan, I totally agree with you that okay, if he took antibiotics or whatever, it's very rare that he could have syphilis. He did come home and say they found syphilis in my bones. Somehow it got there.
So when he went to Panama or Mexico, and which is all news to, I don't think anybody knows that he went abroad and did any of these treatments. That's never been publicly disclosed. And so when he went abroad and did some of these stem cell treatments and things like that, one, we found out that one of the times he got very sick by the washing of the stem cells. He had a reaction to that. And that, two, they did tell him, and he reiterated this to Brooke, that he had syphilis in the bones, is what he told, was what Brooke is saying he told her. So,
I remember where we were standing. He was we were standing across the couch in his living room, and he leaned on the couch and he said, these doctors are amazing. They found syphilis in my bones. Like, I remember him saying they found syphilis in my bones. And I thought that was such a strange thing. I was like, oh my God, like, how do they fix it? Like, what, like, how do you treat, like, what? Like, it just hit me so strange. So, yeah, maybe, but I mean, for them to find it in his bones, it had to have been sitting there for a minute, if that's true, right? I don't know why he'd say that to me. I mean, he's lied about things before. Maybe it was an attention ploy, but that's something
I don't think he lies
very
about.
rare to make up.
No,
like,
you don't lie about that. I don't think
it's
so.
a weird thing to make up. So then, talking about a cause of natural death, nowhere on his death certificate mentions severed phrenic nerve. I don't think that's natural. I think that was a contributing factor.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yes.
That's not natural death.
Agree 100% with you, Bear Brooke. You know, Brooke, you do another option maybe, because right now we're stuck. We're stuck. And you want a remedy. And a remedy would help things move along, make you feel better about what happened. And I think the remedy you want is not money, but truth.
Yeah.
And I think the way to get that remedy would be to turn this into a federal problem, because obviously Clearwater is not going to cooperate with you. Getting the state of Florida involved and, you know, calling the Attorney General of the state of Florida and speaking to their office about this would be the next step. And then after that, it would be maybe, you know, making this a federal problem. And by the way, you know, the big guy in charge was friends with your father. And so he would have probably no problem if you contacted him, and I'm sure you have access to him and can get to him. Say, listen, Mr. President, I think there's been some bad things that happened with my father. I'm really concerned, and there's been so many shenanigans that my doubt increases. And maybe there should be a little federal investigation onto how this was handled, because it's unconscionable that a person as important as your father has to die under such shady circumstances.
I mean, and this is the other thing, too, is I'm not necessarily saying anybody did anything to him. This could just be crappy care, doctors missing something, bad decisions. I don't think even Sky in the documentary said, I wish we would have never done the neck surgery. Yeah, I would have said the same thing. Like, no, we're not doing another surgery. Like, take some more Advil. Sorry. But I also think it's very strange. And Dan, in professional opinion, I knew the heart doctor that I'm assuming probably did his heart surgery, because we talked in depth about this replacement of the calcified aortic valve. He said it'll give you 10 years max. Like, once you do the surgery, you got 10 years if you're lucky. We weren't at that point 2 years ago. Now, I know that 2 years could definitely calcify that aortic valve more. But upon talking to another medical professional, they said if he came out of that surgery alive, then that means that surgery was a success. So he basically just had his arteries opened up. He had his calcified aortic valve opened up with a stent. So that kind of stops you from being able to assume that something blocked his heart too, right?
No, completely different. Completely different.
No, okay.
Yeah,
so
no,
then,
completely different.
So then here's my
the
other
coronary
thing
arteries and the aortic valve they're independent.
So if they knew that he had a severed phrenic nerve, okay,
that's a problem.
Who in God's green earth said, now it's time to do a heart surgery, instead of going back and saying, let's repair that phrenic nerve first, let you heal from that, and then we'll see if you still have shortness of breath. Then we'll see. Nobody did an X-ray before that heart surgery, which I feel like would almost be standard protocol, especially with somebody that's had a surgery on his neck just then, and you know that that's a potential that something like that could happen. Also, how rare is that to have your sever a phrenic nerve? Is that common in those neck surgeries to sever a phrenic nerve?
It can happen.
How come they didn't do how come they didn't do an X-ray before this heart surgery, just to kind of rule anything out? Because if, in my understanding, if one of your phrenic nerves, because you have two that go down to both sides of your diaphragm, you would see one flared on an X-ray and say, oh crap, he must have a severed phrenic nerve. We need to address that first.
You would see an imbalance in the diaphragm. Yes, one would be high, one side would be high, one side would be low.
So, Brooke, let me ask you a question, and this is all while Terry was still with us, and these
So
decisions.
maybe Sky does have a medical malpractice case, which I don't know why you'd want to have the death certificate say it's natural then.
Well, I mean,
it makes sense.
But here's the thing. Let's talk about from the time that he supposedly died to the fact that there's no footage in the living room. All of that supposedly has gone. And then let's talk about the fact, because Dan got into, before you called, we got into the fact that there was no blood draw while he was in the ambulance being transported. There was no blood draw once he was at the hospital. And Dan was like really kabukied out by that, saying that is absolutely gross negligence in the fact that you got arguably one of the most famous men in the world, the EMTs, and you absolutely do a blood draw, you absolutely do a toxology report, you do all of that, and it's my understanding, I could be wrong, that none of that was performed.
I think it's funny too that they say somewhere in the report, it's either the police report or the official, I don't know what official report it was that they said they found no, whatever it was, however you'd say the official way of saying, we found nothing in his blood that would suggest opiates or something like that, which I'm like, I'm sorry, but there had to be a Percocet in there. I could be wrong. But, even if it was light use or something, I mean, I was told by a lawyer that was near the case, he had prescriptions around him. Were they abused? No, but there were prescriptions around. So the fact that there was nothing in his system, I'm like, he was in a lot of pain. There had to have been something in his system, but maybe I'm wrong.
Zero narcotic? Zero? That doesn't make...
They said that there was zero narcotics in there, and that would definitely help you with a medical malpractice case. I'm just saying, if you wanted to sue for medical malpractice, the other doctors couldn't say, well, he had, Percocet in his system, so you can't blame us. It could have been the Percocet. So, okay, there's nothing in there, which knowing my dad, and I love my dad, and I'm not saying he abused them, but he took them to manage pain. So it would be very strange for him to not have anything in his system. And I thought they said they didn't have his blood.
Yeah,
well, which is it?
Yeah, so how can they make the determination as to rule out there was no opiates in his blood if they didn't take his blood?
It's nonsensical, Bubba. It doesn't make sense. Just like you said, it's the cognitive dissonance here is
There are ways to get it.
Bizarre.
There are ways to get it through an autopsy, either through an eyeball or there's different ways, right? But normally most autopsies take place within 72 hours of the person dying. So I don't know how long this information lasts in your eyeball or in your blood or wherever they can pull it from. But they said they didn't have his blood, but yet they were able to have a toxicology report. And they don't want to list that there was an autopsy on the official record of death, on the death certificate. So make sense to me.
And there's so much of it that doesn't make sense, Brooke. And there's so much that can't even be answered by a doctor because everything was done so anti-protocol, from having your family physician show up at the hospital and being the final person that signs the death certificate to, I don't know how long it finally took for them to finally do an autopsy and potentially the things, Dan, that set in, rigor mortis and the various things that could, maybe disrupt the information that you get, to the fact that he was somewhat quickly cremated, to the fact that they never have worked with you, although the city of Clearwater Police used Brooke in their press release saying, I want to thank Brooke, Sky, Nick, and their cooperation. Brooke has never cooperated. She's been that squeaky wheel trying to get information that they have been playing kind of, the shell game with her. And to this very day,
they made me feel better for a second by showing me the body cam footage of McCamey saying he has a severed phrenic nerve. You have a severed phrenic nerve, and they played Sky's 911 tape to me. And at the time, I felt like, okay, everybody's cooperating. I feel good. Like we'll get the results of the autopsy back. But then when the autopsy never came back to me, and I kept asking for it, and I kept asking for it, and I kept asking for it, and then it was getting changed, and I asked, well, what could make a doctor 10 months later make changes to an autopsy? And it would be something like, well, maybe they got his weight wrong, or, okay, so you listed him at 305 and he was really 302. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, little changes, like, okay. The thing that kabukis me out the most, and this is the thing that no matter how many ways I think about it, I just can't seem to figure it out, is if any normal person, celebrity or not, is in and they die in the hospital, there's an absolutely qualified surgeon or big guy at the ER that they would call in to sign the time of death. He died at 11:17 a.m. Homeboy that works at the ER that's on call right now is going to sign it. To me, it's very, very strangely calculated to say, you know what? Actually, wait a second, doc. You don't sign it. We're going to call his pill doctor down the road to come up here right now and sign it. And what happens, correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, if that guy prescribed him any pills and he's got a history of overprescribing and you can see it, it's public record, you can see the cases. If this guy prescribed my dad anything, he could say, hey, everybody, don't worry. I'm his general physician. I prescribed him things. I know he didn't overdose. I know that there's nothing wrong here. I'm aware of what he's on. We can just, close this up. It's natural. And once he signs off on it, the police have no reason to investigate.
Right.
So it's done. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're right. And so he can just kind of say, hey, nothing going on here.
Well, I mean, Dan mentioned today, like it's unheard of to call the family physician to come down and leave his practice.
A treating physician. Any treating physician should not be doing the autopsy.
Right.
It's just
it's absolutely a conflict.
It's a conflict.
No, Fitzgerald did not do the autopsy.
No,
So
he signed the death
Fitzgerald
certificate.
signed the death certificate and the I don't know, something else that allowed him to be cremated, or he's on something else to kind of just like the protocol. But for him to come down and sign death certificate or the time of death or whatever it is strange to me. Then they hired a private autopsy doctor, so anything that was found in that autopsy would never, ever, ever become public record. It's not like the Pinellas County Medical Examiner did it, and once it's done, you can access what the autopsy said. They had it private. Okay, I would have done the same thing, but I was the one that asked for it. I'm the squeaky wheel.
What's your title?
Why has everybody else seen it and not me?
What's your title as far as the estate's concerned?
Zero.
So you have no authority
I must not have my dad's blood running through my veins.
So you have no authority to demand the answers to that autopsy?
I mean, other than the fact that I'm his daughter. I'm literally his daughter, just like Nick is his son.
So she
are you getting along with Nick?
Don't talk with Nick anymore. Not after
Jay, you're up. Jay, you're up. You're up.
Witness the blatant invitation. And I'm sure that their excuse would be like, well, she didn't attend his funeral, so Brooke sucks. No, I didn't attend his funeral because it was a dog and pony show. I would have loved to have honored my dad at WWE and been there.
But you weren't invited.
I didn't get that invitation.
Jay, let me ask you a question. Jay's now on. Jay, you there?
I am. Good morning.
You've heard this, and we've been waiting through this for quite a while. And you are a medical malpractice. That's one of the things that you do very well. It's one of the things that you specialize in. What's your opinion, your 30,000-foot peripheral view of this whole crap show and potentially what Brooke is going through? What's your opinion? Dan's given us the medical side of it, but just your legal opinion. What's your opinion of this whole mess?
So if I had been representing the family from the very beginning, I would have been promoting peace and have everyone on the same page and do an immediate independent autopsy. I would have initially asked the medical examiner, like Brooke and I did, to do it because it was of great public importance. And when they didn't do it, I would have done a very timely, quick, thorough, and comprehensive autopsy. As a medical malpractice lawyer, knowing who the potential people are and where the potential problems are very, very important. And so the witness, the male nurse, the time where were they? How much medication, who administered the medication, when was the last administration of the medication, who was the one dispensing the medication, was there any medication being dispensed by a non-licensed professional, what was the involvement in the home health care people, what's the protocol? There's a protocol when certain people are at a level of care.
The footage is now not, there's no footage of this event and Terry had an extensive surveillance system. There's no footage of this to be found. So, hold on.
That would be like me saying there's no surveillance of me walking in the enclave today.
So I've been told. I don't know it to be true, but supposedly there is no footage. So, I mean, it's just like I'm tore up, and was just formerly his best friend. This is fundamentally his daughter, his flesh and blood, and it's just. She's just,
her questions are all real.
Couldn't you get like a court order to get the videotapes from like the blank or whatever service he used?
Could she?
Only if you have a lawsuit can you get a court order.
Well, there you go, Brooke. I mean, unfortunately, it looks like that might be federally and potentially a civil lawsuit. Brooke is and Jay, am I right? I mean, that's potentially might be the only way for Brooke to be able to get any type of answers here.
Yeah, the only way to get subpoena power is with a lawsuit. Otherwise, you ask nicely and you hope they give it to you.
I would love to find out that he just died of natural causes. I mean, what I got told from my brother was that, and it was what Sky told my brother, so this is like, a game of telephone. My brother told me and my husband, we both heard it, that he died in his chair. Then the report says they found him on the floor. Who found him on the floor? Where were the nurses? Where were they coming back from? Why was Sky the only witness to him not breathing?
My father, when he passed, had a series of home health nurses, and it's like the weakest link. It's great until it's not, and so you want to be able to figure out where everyone was, what they were doing, what was their protocol, what they were supposed to be doing with a guy who is important as your father. But certainly, if I represented your whole family, I'd have everyone on the same page. There'd be one person giving statements to the press, and we would have all been trying to get timely answers to what was the cause of his death. Now, do you, as a surviving daughter, have any mechanism to get subpoena power? I'm just thinking on the fly. I know you don't intend to challenge the estate, but you probably have standing as a surviving natural daughter, blood daughter of Terry.
Just like Paris Jackson is now suing the Michael Jackson estate for mishandling of, broadly mishandling of the estate. Wouldn't Brooke potentially have that same standing?
Well, and I know what she said about I'd give this up, but if she doesn't have a written document, then that's not necessarily binding. So unless she signed away her rights to the estate, theoretically, I have someone she could speak with that could, put her in as someone who has standing as a surviving daughter and find out the circumstances of the death and find out what you would be entitled to under the law. If your dad had
this is the God's honest truth. I was sobbing. I think it was that I found out my dad had married Sky, and I was.
Does she sound like she's underwater to you, Bob, or is that just me?
She's got a bad connection right now.
Okay.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Okay, you there?
Can you hear me now, guys?
No, you're still underwater. But
maybe call back.
No. Just she needs to move around in her little house there. Let me see.
I'm gonna walk.
Get out of the storm shelter.
Hold on. She's in her.
I know, right? Yeah. Okay.
She's already got people droning her back here. Nope, not any better.
Hold on, I'm going outside so we have full clear. Does that help?
No.
Now I'm standing outside.
No.
What the heck?
It's
Scientology are blocking her.
Scientology is jamming her. No.
I feel like let me call back in.
All right, hey, let me tell you. Let me do a 5-minute. Call me back in 6 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, man. Yeah, let's get caught up, and then we can go long form again.
He's a good guy, even though he's a
Bubba the Love Sponge.
The Bubba the Love Sponge show returns after these words.
But there's probably, is there anything glaring that I need to look?
There's a lot to read. I'm looking at it now, like what was found, the 12 bottles found next to him.
Did they find sign narcotics next to him, but there's no narcotics in them?
Well, it says 12 prescription bottles with miscellaneous papers,
including
1 BWC of pill count.
What do I do here? Oh, and I took him out. I put him in audition because I thought that's what fed him.
Yeah, but he needs to not hear himself.
Okay.
So we got to fix it. All right, no big deal. And if you play anything from the internet, he does need to hear that.
Okay.
Cool, thank you.
Call him today.
No, there's literature. That's fine.
Give me the letter.
I just don't want to waste all that.
That's fine. That's fine. So there was a clerical error on the medication when they were counting this medication.
What page is that?
16 and 17.
What's 16 say?
The following presentation has been closed captioned.
Great visual. I'll make try that.
Welcome to the revolution.
It's a remarkable achievement.
His perception becomes your reality.
Check this out.
Bubba the Love Sponge.
Let me tell. Call in now. So, Lummy, we got the police report. It's 72 pages long, and oh my God, I know what I'm doing today.
Yeah,
get that to Jay and Dan as well.
I sent it to Dr. Dan, so I'll send it to Jay.
Perfect. Now, I'm going back. You got me on page 16 and 17. I'm going to keep you on that. If you said there's some clerical errors on that,
the medication, yeah.
Yeah. So can you? Oh, here's Brooke right there. Hopefully Hopefully we got you in a better cell. You there, Brookie?
Yeah, can you hear me better now?
Yeah, we're perfect. So, like, if you can...
I feel like I'm in a Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? All right, Jay, you there as well?
I am.
All right,
Can you hear me?
fantastic. So Brooke, let's pick it up to wherever you want to pick it up. I do have the report in front of me, including the 2 nurses that were gone in the bathroom. And when they came back is when they said they found him not breathing. So from the time that...
Does it say they were in the bathroom, or is that just what I heard through the grapevine? Because I heard that they were fixing a toilet or something like that.
They said, when I wasn't there, he was there on Saturday and Sunday when we had him, but he was still taking this morning a little low, a little mumbly. I got him in the chair. He ate a little yogurt. He was fine. I set him up there. Like, I set him up in the chair. He came in this. He was asleep, but he was breathing. Justin McCarmy, went to the bathroom. By the time he came out of the bathroom, Justin McCarmy tries to do a pulse on Mr. Bollea. And it says, not with the patient. She and I were taking care. Justin McCamey says he wasn't with the patient. She and I were taking care of something in the bathroom, making sure it was set up. The patient, Dana Swinton, says the patient was in the chair, and by the time we came to do the vitals for him, there was no pulse. He and Mr.
So then why perform 30 minutes of CPR and, from what I was told, hit him with Narcan twice if he had no vitals before the...
Well, if he had some yogurt and was asleep before you went to the bathroom, what were his vital signs before you went to the bathroom? You just leave a guy who's had a lethargic, mumbly morning by your own admission, and you just go to the bathroom to fix something or prepare something, and you say he's asleep. Well, what were his vital signs when you left him? You checked his vital signs when you got back.
I spoke to somebody that saw him 3 days prior and said that he, in her opinion, she felt he was very effed up on something.
And so Mr. Bollea had approximately 20 or 30 various knee, hip, and back surgeries over the years. Justin, I should probably put this up maybe on the screen for people to see, because this is very vital, Brooke, Dan, and Jay. So I'm right here. They began to perform CPR until Sunstar Fire Department arrived. Justin advised Mr. Bollea's health had been very poor ever since the surgery. Mr. Bollea had approximately 20 to 30 various knee, hip, and back surgeries over the years. Justin displayed the following list of medications from a tablet that he had on Mr. Bollea's medical history, and as you can see, Dan, it's all redacted. Every bit of it's redacted.
Right.
So,
it's a big list of medications. You see that? That's a long medical history. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
There's 11 prescription medications that they got. So there's 11.
What's it look like on the next page, Bubba? Because that's just that page before you get to no more. Okay. Oh no, a couple more, 2 more.
One's a blood. I know. Just based on my history with him, one has to be a blood thinner, one has to be a calcium channel blocker. Past that,
you got 10 others. Now, who is Christopher Volo? Because
he used to work for Prince. He used to work for Prince Marketing Group.
Okay. Oh,
Darren Prince.
Oh, that guy's a. I'm not going to give you my. But so they got witness Justin McCamey, and you're saying he's nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
And then they got Dana Swinton, and then they got.
I haven't been able to get her name yet, so I'll try to call her.
Yeah.
But
then
people don't want to talk.
They got Dana Swinton. They got Terry Bollea. As far as subjects, they got Dr. Joseph Fitzgerald. They have his information redacted. They have Melanie Sky Daly Bollea. They have Nick Allen Bollea, and then Christopher Volo are I guess, potentially the people that were there.
And, there were a lot of people that were super close to my dad on a daily that they didn't talk to. So I'm like, why wouldn't you I mean, in my opinion, I just think the Clearwater Police shat the bed out the gate. They should have just made it an investigation, period. He's one of the most famous people in the world. They should have just, to cover their own asses,
correct.
they should have just...
And so, as you can see,
They should have just
done the Michael Jackson protocol. We'll call it simple what it is.
Yeah, it's
the Matthew Perry, Michael Jackson protocol.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. So what I wanted to talk about was when I took myself off the will, I texted Terry McCoy, and this is the cause.
Is there a writing, a signed document where you did, or did you just do it by text?
I did it by text, and I said to Terry McCoy, I knew I had to say I was of sound mind, because and Steve was like, why are you texting them? And I said, I have to do this. I was crying. I was excuse me, pardon my French. I was sobbing. I was definitely not of sound mind, but I was so scared about something because I had done my research. I had done my background searches. I went on my own little FBI investigation, and I was very scared about something. And Bubba, what I just sent you shows you that what I was very scared about is 100% real, 100% exists, and is 100% there. So I was scared for a reason, and I was right. So I don't know if that would give me, any standing, but like I said,
did they have you sign other than the text?
No.
So, I mean, some people would try to argue that's a writing. As a lawyer, I would say that's not a will. It's not.
I think I signed one thing. I can't really remember. I was just so hysterical. I think I signed one thing, but then they asked me to sign something else, and then they said, never mind, we can do it without your signature.
Isn't it weird? I'm looking at this. That his wife, they asked if she remembers giving him any medication, and she couldn't remember what she gave him.
What?
Yeah. It's on page 66.
My wife could tell you my sugar intake and my caffeine intake for the last 36 hours.
She said she wasn't sure if she gave it to him.
Me and Jen used to keep notebooks.
So she's saying that she didn't know if she was waiting for the nurse or she gave it to him after he ate his yogurt.
You have a lockbox when it comes to some point with them. We did that with my father. You have a dispensary box that you use so that no one can screw it up.
Now, they say all medications were submitted to the Pasco County Sheriff's Office Property and Evidence in locker number 14. A photo of the pill log was also uploaded to evidence.com. The following is a list of prescribed medications, and it's another big, huge redacted, deal. Dan, I mean, that probably could give you a really good understanding as to what may have happened here. Had they been like in the Michael Jackson, Matthew Perry, cover everybody's ass. They're not trying to cover somebody's ass, but they're being very transparent, forthright, and honest. That would probably allow people to make a better determination. That's information that's pertinent as to why he died.
Well, you'd want to know if was there a benzodiazepine, a narcotic, a muscle relaxant, or anything else that could contribute to
according to the autopsy,
respiratory and cardiovascular collapse.
What's that, Lemmy?
According to the autopsy that was done on August 16, 2025 by Dr. Daniel Schultz, a pathologist, said that he exclusively died from natural diseases and no traumatic or terminal toxicology contributions.
But how would they be able to make that toxicology determination had they not had any blood? I mean, anybody can say anything, but blood doesn't lie. But if they didn't draw any blood or suppose they didn't have any blood or didn't analyze any blood, then how can you say, Dan, that the opioids or other things that you potentially could be taking you could definitely rule them out if you didn't have if you just had a list of them, but you didn't have his blood, then why wouldn't you, test his blood to make sure that only those 12 medications exist that he takes because he's prescribed that and he has paperwork for that, and there's not anything illicit or anything else.
Just the only way to do it is to have the list of medications and have the blood work and see if it lines up. And if there's something there that's not on the list and he was taking something outside the list, and everything on that list of medications should be in his blood. Right. And I can't believe that there would be no narcotic or benzodiazepine or anything that could cause respiratory depression in his body if he's got 11 pills next to him and he's recovering from multiple surgeries.
They do on the...
That was my biggest thing is I was like, I'm not trying to say anybody did anything morbid or horrible or whatever. It could be as simple as he just had labored breathing from that phrenic nerve and that heart surgery, and one little, diazepam or one little, Percocet, even if it was definitely what his body was used to taking, could have just made him go night-night. In that case, if it just made him go night-night, was it cardiac arrest or was it a heart attack?
Now, there's a whole...
But if there was
or respiratory arrest that just led to him dying.
Now, hold on, Brooke.
That's what he really had. It was respiratory arrest, it sounds like. He just stopped breathing.
On page 8, which is usually, Dan, in our opinion, that's from, just like the way Andrew Test Martin died, is from you've over-gimmicked yourself with the gimmicks.
Right, and then you stop breathing.
Right.
It's quiet, it's peaceful, there's no violence, you just stop breathing.
So anyway,
that's what I keep saying, though, is like, Dan, if you were asleep and you had a heart attack, would it wake you up out of your sleep and you'd be like, oh, like my heart, but what I was told was that he just
No. You have a heart attack.
Breathing in his chair.
So let's differentiate the two. Let's make a distinction here. If you have a heart attack, there's pain involved. When your heart gets ischemic because you've blocked one of the arteries to your heart gets pissed, you feel the pain. That's the chest pain, the angina or angina that you're feeling is from the ischemia of the heart muscle. When you stop breathing because you've been over-medicated, you just quietly stop breathing. And nothing happens, and you just stop breathing, and then eventually your heart stops.
What I was told,
it's peaceful.
What I was told is that there was nothing that alerted them. All of a sudden, Sky was just like, "Oh my God, he's not breathing."
Can I ask you a question?
That ain't a heart attack. That ain't a heart attack.
Dan, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead, Jay.
2 of them. Number 1, the autopsy would identify if there had been a nick to the phrenic nerve from surgery, correct?
Yeah.
A thorough one would, yes.
Yes.
Okay. And
it
now,
should.
If he had a cardiovascular arrest like you're describing, and if the assistant or the nurse went to the bathroom to go prepare things and he came back in, if he was having a cardiovascular event, you would expect to see someone who's experiencing chest pain, writhing in pain, and having a cardiac event. They wouldn't just be asleep, would they?
Very unusual. Now, the only caveat here is, like most people, like I said, when you start having the ischemia, you have symptoms. You have sweating, you have panic, you have chest pain, you have neck pain, left arm pain. Now, sometimes that can be associated with an arrhythmia, which will take you out immediately. But you still have that moment of discomfort. It doesn't happen without discomfort. You don't get ischemic in your heart without you feeling it. He would be, it hurts. I got pressure. I feel pain. Something hurts. Something's wrong. He would know. It just doesn't happen. You just drop. That happens with like basketball players with giant hearts.
Maybe that happened, but I was told he was in his lazy boy, and Sky just noticed he stopped breathing. That's what I was told.
That's respiratory
arrest. But then on the report it says they found him on the floor.
They put him. I'm reading it. It's on 71. They got him to the floor. It looks like
to do the CPR.
The guy came back from the bathroom to take his vitals and saw that he had no pulse.
Let me just tell you something I found on page 20. Narrative. Previous case status open. Investigative action taken. On August 21st, 2025, which is about 1 month after he died, I submitted a subpoena request to the state attorney's office for medical records from Tampa General Hospital related to Terry Bollea. I've requested all medical records of diagnosis and treatment, blood analysis, toxology analysis, and names of all treating physician, nurses, observation notes made through physicians, nurses, and any other records. So let me ask you a question. Why don't you have the very same stuff that you're trying to subpoena the Tampa General Hospital for stuff that he did with them over there, in all of his cases, when you don't have this the current version of the blood analysis or the toxology analysis, why would you want to go get one from a month ago when you don't even have the one current that from when he just died because you didn't take it?
Well, why wouldn't you get one from Tampa General and Morton Plant where he supposedly
Right,
died?
because they didn't have one from Morton Plant.
What does it mean? What was the term? Like a supervised death or something, or like an attended death? Like he had an attended death. Does that mean they were there when he died? Because if that's the case, then they would have been there when he stopped breathing. But he stopped breathing and then they noticed. So what does that mean?
I think it's a matter of semantics. Attended death's like watching someone die that's like on hospice and you just, or helping them die, like an assisted suicide. Witnessing someone after they've stopped breathing isn't really an attended death. You walked in, they're dead, and you're trying to resuscitate. And that's why they put them on the floor to do good chest compressions.
Did you notice,
Right.
Bubba, the
So then
report
they did
said the next thing
CPR
that they
on
actually obtained all of those records. So if anyone wants those records from January 1st until July 1st of 2020.
And then when they try to do to interview the Dana Swinton, the nurse, it said a request of Detective Bieber was asked to contact Dana Swinton to contact a follow-up interview regarding the case. She did give the license that she holds in her occupation. I contacted Dana Swinton at where it's redacted and introduced myself. I explained the reason for my call. Swinton was polite but stated that she had been advised by her employer not to speak further with law enforcement with regards to this matter.
Interesting.
So the nurse,
who's her employer?
It's redacted. It's her employer's redacted.
I can tell you who, but
yeah.
I think it's weird that Fitzgerald signs the death certificate. You've got a private nurse, not one from Baycare or anything like that. You've got a private nurse. You've got, I'm assuming they're not from Baycare, but private nurse, private autopsy. Fitzgerald signs off on the thing. All of these stop the public or anybody from getting any information. Then even if, let's just say you go into a malpractice case or whatever, and there was something damning on that autopsy that would have helped the doctors who were defending themselves, they wouldn't be able to get it because it's private. Correct?
Yeah, Brooke, I think
in defending themselves, they would be. So, like, say Sky filed a lawsuit on behalf of the estate and its survivors, which would only be her, because Nick's over 25 years old and you're over 25 years of age, and so under Florida, under wrongful death, the only people that can bring a claim are survivors, statutory survivors, which is defined as a surviving spouse, a dependent, which is very difficult to prove, or a child 25 years of age or younger. And so there's no survivors other than Sky. And so Sky is the only person that has standing to sue on medical malpractice, wrongful death.
And I'm not going to say it. It's just amazing how everything goes through her. But nobody wants to look into that situation.
And Brooke, I think something else that deserves a closer look is really what your rights are as a dependent or as a.
It's not a dependent. It's a survivor. I'm saying, I think she could challenge that
as someone that has access to his estate, and I don't think you can text your way out of that.
No, I don't, and I have someone to speak to if you'd like to challenge that. And there's
and I would
because
prevail.
You're doing it out of need for medical reasons, and if you find out that you were not excluding yourself from everything else, that wouldn't be a bad thing. But as a concerned surviving daughter,
I think I signed one thing, but I don't know what it was that I signed. I think they just kind of and a lot of it was we can do it without your signature. So I don't know.
I can tell you, people challenge prenups that they sign all the time. You may have signed something, but the circumstances surrounding the signature, how it was done, whether they did a secondary signature without you because they quote unquote could do it without you, those things are all legal good faith bases to challenge something to see whether or not. Let me ask you this. Do you really know what your standing is right now?
No, she has no idea.
That's what I'm saying. So you have a good faith basis to challenge
I might as well be the next door neighbor.
Yeah, you might as well be George the gardener. So let me just.
You know what's weird? The forensic, the nerve that was cut, the
phrenic nerve,
the phrenic nerve that was cut. The nurse said it was in his tablet. That's why he knew about it. And then when they interviewed him again, he said that he misspoke and that he was just nervous and that he wasn't sure.
Well,
but he showed him the
that's how
tablet.
we found out initially. I don't want to say, but the word on the street was from who Brooke had been speaking with is that there had been some information from inside the home that day that he'd had a phrenic nerve issue, and we'd never even heard that word before.
Well,
Brooke, I believe, was one of the first ones, or Bubba was. It had eyes in the sky, kind of people who hear things on the street, and that's what I remember hearing very, very early on, phrenic nerve. And we'd never heard that before because you were always talking about something went wrong during the surgery, and they said, "Oh, you're wrong. It shouldn't be this long of a recovery." We didn't know any of that.
And I was told that information by somebody who was not a crazy person. This was an official person.
I know exactly.
That actually, I believe, lost their job for helping me.
Lami, what do you got here? I got two things. One, I want to see what you got. And then I found on page 41 and 42 where the DEA went to Fitzgerald's office, and it's all redacted, but they got a list of everything that he prescribed, and it was all from the DEA. So go ahead. What do you got?
I was going to say, Mr. McCartney, the whole medical history that it shows on his tablet that he got from his office, I guess, said he had multiple things. And wouldn't that tablet, couldn't you see what was listed in that tablet? If he showed the officer at the time that it was that was the problem, that it was clipped, the nerve was cut. Nerve. Yeah. Couldn't you see it now, or are they able to delete it? Because that's where I'm confused on how that report went missing.
So the last thing before I let Brooke go, I'll be talking to her privately today. We'll probably regroup and maybe have some more stuff tomorrow. But it said on Friday, August 22nd, 2025, I contacted the DEA, assistant agent, special agent in charge, I don't know his name, the Tampa District Office to request assistance in the E-Force, the Electronic Florida Online Reporting of Controlled Substance Evaluation Program, and also referred to as the PDMP, the Prescription Drug Monitoring Program, both of which Dan are probably familiar with. Mm-hmm. The purpose of the inquiry was to obtain a history of prescribed controlled medications to Terry Jean Bollea, with particular focus on prescriptions issued by Dr. Gerald Fitzgerald. On Monday, August 25th, exactly a month to the day that he died, I received the PDMP results from the special agent. And as you can see, it looks if every one of them is a medication, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28.
I think every time you see those steps, it's one drug. It's a drug, it's dosage, that kind of stuff, and then like the frequency. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Would that be more? I think it's going to be.
You can still say 30 plus lines redacted.
So it's probably 30 lines. There's probably 10 medications. 33 lines, probably 11 medications. Looks like there's 3 lines per med.
So,
and it looks like there was surveillance. The police looked at it. August 27th, he said he reviewed it with Miss Bollea and Nicholas Bollea, and that the surveillance was in the family's possession.
Hold on, they reviewed it with who?
Miss Bollea and Nick.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah,
but Brooke Bollea, no, we're not going to give her any rights to see any of this footage.
So you're telling me that the cameras were on?
Yeah, the footage.
Told, the cameras were off.
No, it says recording was viewed in person in the residence. The footage was not collected and remained in the family's possession.
So there you go.
The cameras were on and they lied to me.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's August 27th. The detective watched it. Detective Bieber.
So there are, and we're talking surveillance inside. We're specific about the surveillance inside.
Review home surveillance footage from the morning of 7/24. The camera view captured the living room of the residence where Mr. Bollea was located at the time he went into cardiac arrest by responding officers and medical.
Did you know that he was on kidney dialysis? Brookie.
No, I didn't. I mean, I thought he was ported for chemo or something. Which they talked about chemo too. That was the other thing. I was like, okay, I know my dad, and at 71 years old,
Bubba.
He definitely would not do chemo, and he definitely would not do chemo because just of his belief system and like everything he's ever known about anything. He would never do chemo. What?
But so
Shad also stated they were advised Mr. Bollea takes a low-dose painkiller to assist with sleeping as part of their protocol, but there was nothing in his blood. That's nonsensical.
But they also administered what's that? Dan?
Naloxone, which is Narcan.
In an attempt to assure that this was not a potential cause of cardiac arrest. But everybody's saying that the nurse said that she was there to start kidney dialysis. She advised that she did not absorb any ports at that point, and she also stated that she was advised Mr. Bollea takes a low-dosed painkiller to assist in sleeping as part of his protocol. So why wasn't that found in his blood? I'll tell you why, Dan. Because they didn't do a toxology and they didn't do a blood pool.
Or they did different blood, allegedly. This is sketchy, Bubba. This is really, really, really scary sketchy.
Yeah.
And
this is like we could get killed sketchy. I'm for real.
Yeah.
Brooke, for real. Like, we could all be in jeopardy by exposing this by a very large organization that believes in Xenu.
I already had a drone. I had a drone. You mentioned it before, but now why not? We had a drone drop into our backyard. And the last time that happened was when I started doing some research on you-know-who.
Xenu.
Yeah, and it stared Steve in the face about 4 feet away from Steve, where he was like literally about to go get a rock to hit it and throw it. It dropped below our roof line and hovered in our backyard for about 2 straight minutes.
Yeah. So listen, Brookie, I got to let you go. Let's talk today, relatively soon after I get off the show. And have you got this report? Did you get this 72-page report?
No, I did not.
I'll email it to you. Let me get her email.
Yep.
So because you need to spend 30 or so minutes looking at this.
Brooke, have Steve or you text me your email.
Yeah.
I'll text it to you right now, Brooke.
And and I just want to preface this by saying, like, I hope everything's on the up and up. I hope that it was just a natural, like, it was just his time. I hope that he went peacefully. I hope nobody is malicious or hiding anything. I don't know why I've been lied to and misled. But, and anything that I shared today was just simply what my dad told me. And that could or could not be true. I'm just telling you what people have told me, from what Nick told me, from what my dad told me. I'm being 100% honest with what I know.
And listen, man, like you said, I hope that he took his last breath peacefully and he wasn't in any pain, and there is no kabuki bad stuff that's happening here, but there's a lot of inconsistencies and there's a lot of
question marks.
There's a lot of question marks then a lot of shortcuts that people took, and just there's a lot to take all in. I need you to look at these 72 pages.
And let me just say one last thing. Why is nobody else that supposedly loved him? I'm doing this because I love my dad. I want to know what happened to my dad. Why does nobody else care like I do? Why is nobody else like, well, this sounds, I could tell you why. Everybody's living happily ever after now.
Yeah, that's why. Because
I don't understand why the local communities.
I have no skin.
I don't understand why the local community is not up in the air. Like, if this happened to anyone else in any other city, in any other state, California, the people that bring, publicity and honor to their community. Hulk Hogan was one of the 3 most recognizable people behind Muhammad Ali and Gandhi when I was a kid. One of the most important figures, action figures, movie stars, entertainers for generations. He's been in the media for 40 years, 50 years. Why doesn't anyone here care? Where's the investigative reporter from the Tampa Bay area?
Where's the guy from Tampa?
Where's somebody that wants to make a name for themselves? Where's Harvey Levin? Where's everybody? Where are you, Harvey?
Jay, I'm going to let Brooke go, and I'm going to answer your question. I'm going to go into because the people that his wife are associated with scare people. These people are scary.
You can be careful with what I texted you, but there's something that's still active.
Yeah. So anyway, Brookie, I will be talking a lot to you today, and we're going to email this. So by the time I have talked to you, hopefully you've been able to kind of maybe skim through these 72 pages. It validates a lot of what you're saying. It really does.
I'll just say this. I'm not one to go off the rails and just lose my temper on something. But when that police report came out, and I felt like it was almost a slight, being like, we want to thank Sky, Nick, and Brooke. I'm like, you have not included me in that group the way I should have been with respect as his daughter at all. What are you thanking me for?
No, they've been completely
Why
opposite.
are you even? Why? Don't bring my name up to look like you're being nice.
I emailed it to you.
Yeah. So listen, Brookie, I'll be talking to you probably within the next 90 minutes.
Thank you.
All right. We love you.
Love you guys.
Bye now.
Bye.
I'm just telling you guys. You guys can look at this. Like Jay said, when you have a Matthew Perry or a Michael Jackson or a Gene Hackman, they quickly become as transparent and as forthright as they possibly can in fear of you're dealing with somebody that's so popular and so worth a lot of money and a lot of moving parts that you try to be as transparent and cover your ass as you possibly can. And you have the toxicology report, and you have a blood draw, and you have everything way more buttoned up than this. This. There's just a lot of things that aren't correct by protocol standards here. I mean, Dan.
There's a foul stench in the state of Denmark. It's just the way it is. It's something's wrong.
And Jay, you're right. Where's the media here? Why aren't people asking questions here? Even if you read this and you believe it, there's still a lot of things that are redacted, a lot of things that don't make sense. And the number one thing, the number 2 or 3 things that don't make sense is why was his family doctor that has aggressively over the years prescribed him opiate-based medication? Why was that guy called in to sign off on the death certificate? How many other times has he done that? Including but not limited to other wrestlers that he took care of, and one of which died. Andrew Test Martin was supposedly, I've been told, was under Dr. Fitzgerald's care, and was he asked to sign his death certificate? Man, and the answer is, from a doctor, never do they ask the treating physician to come in and sign off on the deal in fear that the treating physician needs to be investigated for his level of care may have contributed to said issue.
And nor have I seen that in 30 years as a medical malpractice doctor. Yeah. I've never seen that occur.
And I've never seen that occur in a hospital setting.
Ever.
Well, one of the questions I have also is, how can the toxicology report say there's nothing in his system, and in the interview it say that he takes a low-dose narcotic every day, right, and we know that he's home recovering from surgery, which is painful, and that he's probably being dispensed other types of medication. And so without the conspiracy theory is, why doesn't the toxicology report identify, I should say a better word, any of the medication, including the one that was admitted that he took?
Yeah.
Why?
Can we
and is it because it was so late, Bubba? Remember we were talking about, you're supposed to do it really quick. Could be so long that they don't get anything meaningful out of the toxicology.
Lummy, can Gary change can we edit the title of the click?
Yeah.
Or is it a big pain in the ass?
No, we'll get it done. If it's a pain in the ass, then obviously we'll.
Brooke Hogan tells all.
Yeah.
Something like that.
We can do that.
We've got to. We didn't really get into that. We'll get into some of the teen stuff, but we got a really exclusive here. We need to have him. I'm sure he's going to start shorting it and doing his magic, but fundamentally we probably need to change the click if we can.
Okay.
All right.
I want you to listen to this channel.
More bullying and brutality after this.
That's real nice.
Bubba the Love Sponge.
I got it. I got it. I got it. Page 65.
Okay.
No, I mean, I just find the smoking gun. I just found it. Page 64 and 65. I got it. I'm going to go on the air with it.
Okay.
Hey, it's Bubba. Big Gus has already found all the salespeople he needs. He's already found the technicians he needs. Now he just needs you to come by your Mahindra, your Coyote, your Skag, your Steel. It doesn't matter. They got it. Tractor packages, zero-turn bundles, financing, parts. And it's all located at 1490 US 98 West, Mary Esther. More information, you can always go to BigGusTractor.com. Tell the Bubba Army.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show, listener supported via PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App, all at the Bubba Army, now returns.
So Jay, I think I found something.
Okay.
Page 64 and 65 talks about the investigators going to Gerald Fitzgerald's office. And it's I began asking Mr. Fitzgerald how Bollea became a patient of his, and he stated that he believed that he'd been Mr. Bollea had been a patient for approximately 10 to 15 years after being referred to him by another patient, which is probably a wrestler.
Wasn't Jimmy Hart?
What page?
64.
Wasn't Jimmy Hart a patient of his?
Yes. A lot of wrestlers were. I then been confirmed that with Dr. Fitzgerald that he signed Mr. Bollea's death certificate, and he said he did. I asked how he was made aware of Mr. Bollea's passing. Fitzgerald went on to say that he previously had ran to the ER at Suncoast Hospital and several physicians at Morton Plant Hospital were his friend. Dr. Fitzgerald stated he received a phone call from Dr. Erica Francis, that the attending physician in the emergency room that day, that Mr. Bollea was taken in. Dr. Francis informed Dr. Fitzgerald that Mr. Bollea had come into the ER in what's that? As a stole.
Asystole.
Asystole.
That means no rhythm or rate, no heart rhythm or rate. Asystole.
That he remained in that cardiac rhythm for the duration. Dr. Fitzgerald was advised that Mr. Bollea remained in whatever that's called asystole for approximately 45 minutes while life-saving measures were employed. However, he did not have any cardiac rhythm changes and was ultimately pronounced dead. Dr. Fitzgerald explained that due to the fact that Mr. Bollea was asystole for such a prolonged period of time, he believed the cause of death was cardiac in nature and agreed to sign the death certificate and advised Morton Platt Hospital of the same. Dr. Fitzgerald advised that after learning of the death of Mr. Bollea, he contacted Mrs. Bollea, which is Sky, and asked if she wished. Here is the whole shooting match. Sky is the person that made the decision as to whether they should have an autopsy or not through Fitzgerald, and because Sky told Fitzgerald no, there was not one done. Now, Jay, if you have the most popular man in the world that's right there on the slab that just died as Morton Platt Hospital, don't you take it upon yourself to have your own pathologists, your own coroner to come in and do it themselves? There it is.
In my opinion, the medical examiner should have done this under that part of the statute that we reviewed, which was a matter of great public importance.
He contacted Miss Bollea, Sky, and asked if she wanted an autopsy performed, to which she reported she did not. Dr. Fitzgerald advised me the last time he saw Mr. Bollea was in December of 2024, but that ended up not being correct, according to his medical chart. However, believed to may have seen him between them for his cervical surgery. Dr. Fitzgerald later confirmed via his billing staff that he saw Mr. Bollea in December 20th of 24. I asked Dr. Fitzgerald if he was aware of any Mr. Bollea's surgeries that he underwent in 2025, and he stated he was not, and he only learned about them after his death. I asked Mr. Fitzgerald if what he treated Mr. Bollea for, and he stated it was just general family practitioner and treated him on minor colds, sore throats, and similar ailments. I asked Dr. Fitzgerald if he knew anything about Mr. Bollea's medical history in months preceding his death, and he stated only knew about his neck surgery. So then it went on, Lummy, and said Mr. Bollea is blah, blah, blah. Dr. Fitzgerald was able to provide. So remember, Jay, how he said the last time you saw him was in December 20th of 2024?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Fitzgerald was able to provide the last contact his office had with Mrs. Bollea had occurred on July 16th, 2025, advising that she was stated he was provided the plan of care of home, and his role was simply to sign off on the plan.
You missed that. She was unhappy with the assigned home health from Baycare.
Right.
And did not want to wish to have home health care at that time. Which is kind of weird. But
It later go on to say that, now here, I got to go into words right after this. So now we're talking about Sky, his wife. During the course of conducting the final case review prior to the closure of this case. So, Jay, this is the final, this is your closing arguments, by lawyer terms. During the course of conducting the final case, I'm going into words right after this and let everybody with a big whodunit, you think about what you want. During the course of conducting the final case review prior to the closure of this case, it was determined that contact with Melanie Bollea, who is Sky, was necessary to clarify whether she provided medication to Terry Bollea on the day of his death. On 7/24/25, which is the day of his death, I had asked Mrs. Bollea, Sky, if she recalled what medications her husband had taken over. At the time, she did not recall. On November let me see. So you got August, September, October. 4 months later, during an interview with their home health aide, Dana Swinton advised me that she believed, although not sure, that Mrs. Bollea had given Mr. Bollea his morning medications on the day of his death. Now, remember, she said that she didn't.
Yeah.
On May, just a month ago, less than a month ago, on May 15th, 2026, I made contact with Mrs. Bollea in an effort to clarify on whether she'd given Hulk Hogan his medications. Mrs. Bollea advised that she was not sure if he'd been given his morning medications on the day he died. Mrs. Bollea went on to explain that the routine changed slightly from day to day depending on how Mr. Bollea was feeling. She stated sometimes he would request to have his medications after he'd eaten his yogurt, and sometimes it would have been done prior to that. Mrs. Bollea then stated that she never gave her husband medication and always wanted a trained medical person to administer the morning medications. Mrs. Bollea provided a photograph of the list of medications that Mr. Bollea was taking. The list was divided into morning and to night. Mrs. Bollea advised that she had been given his medications on the day he died. It would have been
home health care has something called a medication administration record, the dose and the time of everything. Where's that?
Morning medications are as followed. They're listed and now they're all redacted. So the day of his death, she says no. In November, she says, I don't know, I can't recall. And at that point, the nurse said she felt as if Sky had given his morning medications to him. And then just 3 weeks ago, she stated that she did give him his morning medications. That doesn't sound like natural causes to me, and it sounds like there's a bunch of people changing their stories here and there. And the people that change their stories are the one that got almost all of the money, almost all of the properties. But yet there's nothing to see here now. Nothing went awry. Nothing to be alarmed. Nothing for the Tampa Tribune or for Channel, 13 or the CBS affiliate. Nothing. Everybody's just sitting here sucking Big D, taking this.
Where's the 35-year-old Mike Deason? Is there a new one of those in town? Anybody want to make a name for themselves?
Hell no, Jay. There's no, because they'll get canceled. I got more, and I'm going to continue to read this, but I think what I just found was pretty monumental. I didn't give him his morning medications. Oh, so then somebody testifies that she did, and then, 3 weeks ago, May 15th, 2026. Oh yeah, I did give him his morning medications. There also was, there's also been stated in sworn testimony that both nurses were in the bathroom when she said he stopped breathing. I'll get into more of this next.
Your voice of reason has spoken. More Bubba the Love Sponge after this.
What's up, Felix? Good morning, Portobon. Trey calling with Bob. Where is his? Straight through French John. No, Thunder Truckers, what'd you put? I did not see it. Saying sluggish. I don't say that for freezing. True. I never knew they're sluggish.
Hey, it's Bubba the Love Sponge. If you're looking for a Volkswagen or any quality used vehicle, it's Volkswagen of Wesley Chapel. You can get financing as low as 0% APR on new VWs and as low as 1.9 APR on certified pre-owned. Over 200 new VWs in stock. Over 200 used vehicles in stock. You're looking for a specific car or truck or something they don't have? They'll find it for you. Mention Bubba Army, get an additional $1,000 off new or used. No questions asked. Ask for my boy Rolo. For more information, go to VWofWC.com. Volkswagen of Wesley Chapel.
What is there not to like about the show? Bubba the Love Sponge.
Guys are awesome.
And I love the sponge.
The show's cool. It's real, man.
He makes me laugh my ass off every time I listen.
I'm a full trucker effect, man, so it gets me through the day all the time.
Bubba the Love Sponge. You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
So, just so that I am legally covered, this is a public record that I can comment on. This is a official police report done by the Clearwater Police Department to wrap up and conclude the investigation of Terry Jean Bollea's death. I will tell you this, that on May of 2024, Hogan edited his will and amended his trust to remove Brooke and to add Sky in May of 2024. Jay brought something up, and I'm going to have him talk about it, but I also brought something up, and here's what I find odd, is that when does the surviving spouse, when do they start running the show and telling the police department on how to do things, and you can have this and you can have that? When do they stop being a suspect and they end up actually controlling the entire narrative here? On Friday, May 15th, 2026, which was 3 weeks ago, I met with Mrs. Bollea. At approximately 1400 hours, Lieutenant Anthony Monti and I met with Melanie Bollea at her residence, who is Sky. The purpose of this meeting was so that Sky Bollea could provide me with a report titled Autopsy Report, abbreviated summation of her late husband. And so the private autopsy was completed on 8/16/25 in the office of Daniel Schultz, MD, pathologist. So when do...
What's that, 3 weeks?
3 weeks after his death. So in a year, almost 10 months from the time he died, she's now providing the police with an autopsy. Now, from a private pathologist that her and Nick hired. Now, how, Jay, if you're paying this pathologist, in this case it was Dr. Daniel Schultz. Hey Daniel, I know we're paying you here. We needed to. I'm just make believing right now. Hey, we kind of need you. We kind of needed to say this, my friend. At the end of the day, I mean, this isn't unbiased and fair. Not at all. When she's providing the summary of the autopsy to the police, and here's the deal. And then they go on, Jay, and talk about when the Florida medical examiner has standing by legal code to do an autopsy. On 7/24/25, contact was made with investigators from the District 6 Medical Examiner's Office who advised that the case was not a medical examiner's case based on the facts and circumstances presented, and as such, would not be conducting an autopsy taken custody of Mr. Bollea's remains. Florida Administrative Code Rule 11G2-003 and Chapter 406 of the Florida State Statute states and establishes the legal framework for the state's medical examiner system, together how they govern how, when, and by whom investigators and autopsies are conducted, determining the cause and manner of death. Officers later collected the medications currently prescribed by... So if you don't take blood and you don't do a toxology report, then why are you doing pill inventories? Even if the toxology report would say that he doesn't have any illicit levels of opioids in his body, wouldn't that help everybody else's cause? You know, a toxology report goes both ways. One, it could really, really state what Hogan had in his system and the levels of such. Or two, it can clear Fitzgerald or anybody else that potentially might have been prescribing him, copious amounts of deadly opiates.
In theory, it does both.
Yeah, it does. There's both sides of the fence there. So, a toxology and a blood draw dispels. Hell, it shuts my fat ass up right now, if indeed there were what they said happened. The Clearwater Police enlisted the assistance of the DEA to ascertain that any prescribing anomalies in relation to the prescribers within the last 6 months while conducting the pill inventory. And I must state that they say this, that Dr. Fitzgerald did not prescribe him any opioids in the last 6 months. So that probably clears him. Now, did he aggressively do it on other times? Perhaps, but that wasn't what killed him. And so, I just don't understand how, at the end of the day, if you drill down, Jay, the real person that dropped the ball here was the medical examiner, the District 6 Medical Examiner's Office. It would be interesting to know And I've not seen this person's name anywhere in the 72 or 73 pages. Who is the District 6 medical examiner? And does he have any illicit ties to...
No, he doesn't. It's on his medical. It's on his death record or whatever, who it is. And I think Jay's spoken to him.
I spoke to their office.
Yeah.
To the medical examiner's office.
Yeah, and I invoked the, Michael Jackson, Matthew Perry protocol. I literally said, isn't Hulk Hogan a figure of great public importance? And isn't this like Michael Jackson or Joan Rivers or Gene? I talked about all of the things that we all know has happened. And I said, isn't there a public interest? I'm telling you that I've heard that there was an injury to the phrenic nerve. I would think that would be something that makes this no longer a natural death. And so what's interesting is, that was word on the street. So we've heard, that's what we've been told. It's in the report, Bubba.
Yeah, it's in the report. It was later learned
from that guy.
It was later learned that Miss Bollea and Nicholas Bollea had arranged for a by the way, the two people that are listed as the main beneficiaries for a Nick Bollea and Sky Bollea had arranged for a private autopsy to be completed on Mr. Bollea. The Clearwater Police Department received an abbreviated report of the autopsy report from Daniel Schultz, a pathologist who conducted the autopsy. And so, this is just a big, I'm not going to say, this is just a big turd and a big whodunit. And the Clearwater Police Department, in conjunction with the medical examiner's office, really laid an egg here. They really,
it's one of those
really
ones where, if you're a criminal defense lawyer, you would argue that they botched the investigation, that they didn't do everything they could have done in the investigation to actually determine what happened here.
Yeah. There's so many loose ends here. There's so many little hidden gems of potential probability of illicit activity, including but not limited to, his wife said, well, no, I didn't give him his pills. And then a nurse in November says, well, I think maybe she did give him his morning pills. And then she says, okay, I think maybe I gave him his morning pills. Now, that potentially is not a problem. As they saw the list of medications that he potentially took. And in the investigation, it said that he was taking less than he was prescribed. Okay, that's great. And do you know what all that can be validated by? Everything that I just say can be validated by two things: a toxology and a blood draw, right? Had you done a blood draw and had you done a toxology report on him, it would have validated that Melanie/Sky didn't give him anything illicit. That indeed he only took his morning medications that were not problematic and or opiate based and would not have killed him. He indeed died of a cardiac issue. But when you don't have the toxology report and you don't have the blood draw, I mean, Jay, that's like where you start and stop with everything with regards to any shady business and or being able to cover anybody's ass starts and stops with that. And like we said, it goes both ways, including
100%. And then, say it had nothing to do with the meds. Say it was the phrenic nerve that he had a bleed. The autopsy would reveal that. Yep. The autopsy would reveal if the bleed or if there was something else going on, because there's a part of the report, if I may read about this guy.
Please do.
McCampy.
What you sent me. Yes.
Yeah, because it's pretty incredible. The guy is only his second time ever there. And so he's being interviewed by Officer Bailey. And it says, Officer Bailey conducted an interview with Mr. McCamey, who identified himself as a home health occupational therapist. An occupational therapist is not a nurse. They're there to do therapy. He said he was contracted by Tampa General Hospital. Mr. McCamey informed Officer Bailey that he arrived approximately 10 minutes before the incident occurred. Mr. McCamey reported that after he and Miss Swinton had gone to the bathroom to set up the room for scheduled therapy for the day, Mr. McCamey then attempted to take vital signs on Mr. Bollea. Mr. McCamey stated he did not feel a pulse, and he called his supervisor before they were able to move him to the ground and begin CPR. Mr. McCamey displayed a tablet device to Officer Bailey, which contained Mr. Bollea's medical records to include a list of medication. Mr. McCamey reported to Officer Bailey that Mr. Bollea had undergone surgery on his neck and, quote, alleged that a phrenic nerve was severed during the operation. Additionally, he reported Mr. Bollea had undergone surgery on his aortic valve within the past month or two, and that was his second visit to care for Mr. Bollea. Mr. McCamey explained to Officer Bailey that he had completed his initial evaluation the week before, and he was, quote, kind of super surprised he made it through the week, period, end quote. So there's things we didn't even know about. Did you know about aortic surgery?
No.
I had no idea.
Dr. Schultz, the guy who did the autopsy, writes that Mr. Bollea died exclusively from compelling natural disease with no reasonable, traumatic, or terminal toxicology with no reasonable traumatic or terminal toxicolic contributions. As such, the manner of the death is natural. Well, how can you say there's no terminal toxicology if you didn't do a toxicology report and or a blood draw? So how can you say that? Which then kicks it into the natural death category. You can't have them both. You got to have a toxicology report to be able to say that his death was natural. Because at that point, he had no levels of toxic medications. You don't know that.
An autopsy performed 3 weeks after death may not provide full information because organs and tissues can deteriorate over time, make it more difficult to conduct certain tests. So, I mean, it's, optimal is immediately. I would be suspicious if there's still blood in the ER records. Oftentimes when they're trying to initiate life-saving measures, they may draw some blood.
Right.
Wouldn't it be interesting if they had blood in the ER records?
But supposedly, Jay, no blood was drawn at all. No toxicology, urine or blood or nothing, no hair follicle, nothing was taken. Nothing. Zero. Hence, you can't really get or drill down what really happened here. You can't. So anyway, let me do one more break. We'll say goodbye. Wrap this thing up, Lummy. It's been a very long day. I've been holding back a poop all day.
Oh, boy.
Gotta let the hounds out here as soon as I get done.
Rosadane, Gettysburg, $10.
Thank you, buddy.
Yes, it is. No, it's not. We rudely interrupt the Rick to let you know the following. Bubba the Love Sponge Show returns after these words.
Rosadane, Gettysburg. Michael Bass, 18 months. Thank you, Michael Bass. Oh, Dirt Merchant. We got shorts out already, Bubba. Just so you know. Good job, Gary.
Fraudulent.
Oh, Mike. There's something going on. Gary, that was fucking quick. So you got 2.
Yo, we're back. Oh, jeez. Come on.
Listen to him. We hate him.
Oh, man, this sucks. What the?
I'd like to move this thing along.
Bubba the Love Sponge. Back, despite overwhelming public disapproval. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Get ready to wrap it up. Got Jay on the Zoom. Lummy wanted to maybe play a couple little teen gimmicks here real fast so I can clarify them. I think this happened in Jacksonville, Florida. This is a teen takeover. This is brutal.
Why does that look fun? Why do people want to go to these?
Because they're a bunch of animals. And all this does is just kill the business that happens to be, geographically aligned with where these people are doing these savage type things. It just like anybody with money or has the ability to go to a restaurant or buy a T-shirt or whatever the hell they're slinging. I'm not going there.
Yeah.
I'm completely avoiding this, and I may hold it against them forever. That was
a cop?
That was a cop that they just threw down. Let me look.
Whoa.
What? That was a cop that the teens just threw down. Watch. That was a cop.
Oh, my God.
They threw down. Anyway.
Kids are out of control.
We'll be back tomorrow. Lum Lum. I'm going to play that one video that I was talking about before. We got Brooke on the phone, and that was these 4 African American girls who are about 7 or 8.
Oh, jeez.
Absolutely pummel this girl, and it's so bad and it's so uncomfortable that I damn near started like weeping for this poor little girl. It is absolutely horrible. Absolutely mind-boggling. Let me see if I have it. Maybe I could really run it real quick. How long is it? Let me see. It's 2 minutes and 11 seconds.
Is that her crying right there?
Yes.
Oh, my Lord.
It's her crying.
God.
Let me just play a little bit of it. I'm just going to play about a little bit. We'll revisit it tomorrow, but it'll just show you how uncomfortable this is. And these kids now are heathens. And every one of these 3 or 4 little girls as parents should be rung up, because I don't understand how you could ever allow this behavior.
Oh, shit.
Who's recording?
One of the girls participating is a friend or sister or whoever's.
You're lying! Oh, they bitch crying!
And then they start dragging her by her hair.
They're laughing, man. I can't watch it.
Yeah. I got that tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll do it, Jay. We'll do it before you're on. Hey, Jay, man, thanks for your expertise, man. We appreciate you, my friend. We'll see you tomorrow, bud.
My pleasure.
All right, bud. Lovely, thank you.
No problem.
Thanks for letting me finish.
You've been listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, starring
me, Bubba the Love Sponge,
co-host and show historian, Lummit.
It's Brian Matroni, king of counter program.
Gene Lasker, voice of the people. Glad you get to hear me.
Gary Cantrell, video editor.
Yeah, back here wiring up. It's Mini Macho.
The BRN agent, Thomas Buttoned Up B.
Co-host, Dr. Dan Diaco, Esquire, of Council.
Co-host, J. Diaco, Esquire, the Spitting Cobra, of Council.
Now, time for the legal disclaimer.
Exactly.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this show without express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
We must dissuade him of this delusion.
Until next time, always remember.
I'll repeat hello.